Hey guys, so I am so excited to do a reading for you guys today. This reading is going to be about why do people stare at you. So if you've ever noticed someone looking at you in public or looking at you a little too long, this is a great reading to figure out what's going through their head, what is their first impression, why are they looking at you, and what is going on with their thoughts about you. So today we have an amazing selection of French pastries. These look so good. It literally makes me want to go out to a patisserie and buy up the whole shop. They look amazing. And so we are going to start from number 1, then number 2, number 3, and number 4, and I will show you up close as well in case you guys like to decide that way. So this one is number 1. It has some white fruit on the top. I don't know if it's dragon fruit or it could be like pear or something. And then there's some berry right there and kiwi and a mint leaf. So it looks super good, kind of a tropical pastry. This one, number 2, is a blueberry pastry. It looks just like blueberry pie. It's literally making me crave blueberry pie so much. There's a mint leaf for garnish and some crushed nuts and cream. Number 3 is going to be like assorted fruit. I believe that that is black currants. And then I think that that might be mango, strawberry, blueberry, kiwi, almond. And then there's a drizzle of cream, a lot of cream on this one. And then number 4, the last one, this one has raspberries. It also has a walnut, an almond, mint leaves, and a big drizzle of cream, and this one is heart-shaped. So hopefully you guys already feel called to one, and if you guys need to rewind, spend more time deciding, that's totally cool. If you need to pause or mute me or do whatever you guys want, go ahead and do that, and we're gonna go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey pile 1, so if you guys picked this dragon fruit tart, this is going to be your reading. It could be pear as well, or any white fleshed fruit, but you can also see that there's like this berry compote thing on the sides, and there's also these kiwi fruits. And there's a mint leaf as well, so they did a lot of detail. And then I love that it really looks like a puff pastry with all the layers and stuff, and it just looks super realistic. But let's get into your pile. You guys got the Star, the Hermit, Ace of Cups, the Sun, Page of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Emperor. And I literally gasped when the Star flew out first pile, because I was like, I wonder who my kind of like star pile is gonna be, and like I was like, okay, that makes it very obvious. So let me get into some of the energies, because I'm getting a lot for you guys, to be honest. I feel like you guys probably attract more attention than a lot of people, because I think there's a lot of complexity to you and a lot of reasons people are intrigued. So I'm gonna try to explain it as best I can, but you guys are kind of complex, so bear with me. But I feel like you guys, first of all, do exude just this raw magnetism. A lot of you guys may be very physically attractive, just period, point blank. Like anyone would look at your face and be like, oh, this person's attractive. You know what I mean? You also might exude a little bit of sexuality in that way, but at the same time, we got the Hermit, and I feel like we also got the Four of Wands. People are intrigued by the fact that you guys seem to be very self-reliant, and I feel like you guys spend a lot of time alone. I feel like people are intrigued by that. It's almost like you give off a vibe of not needing anyone else. You guys may have an Aquarius ascendant, or maybe like a Capricorn ascendant, or any ascendant that kind of just seems like, I'm good, I'll just do my own thing, you know? I feel like a lot of you guys, you're not that type that is gonna get a ton of FOMO and needs to be at every party and needs to be invited. And the interesting thing is, it's not like you guys are, you know, excluded from these things. I feel like a lot of people would invite you to things, but you choose not to go. And this is the vibe. People just get this impression from you when they first see you, as like, this person just seems, it's almost like she don't need no man or no new friends or something like that. Like there's like almost an exclusivity to you, kind of like how, you know, you guys are like a private club that's really hard to get into and like members only. So I feel like a lot of times people see you and they may even want to talk to you. You may notice people staring at you, or you almost get a feeling of like, is that person gonna walk over and start a conversation? Or you may have that happen. People will come up and randomly be like, oh, hey, are you looking at the apples? Oh, cool. And you're kind of like, I think they want to talk to me. But I feel like you guys you like your own alone time, you like your own space, and I feel like this creates a bit of a mystique around you. You guys are very much, I'm not getting like a needy vibe. I'm getting very self-reliant, independent vibes. So I feel like people can see also, the thing is with Ace of Cups, it's not like you guys are emotionally unfulfilled and sitting around feeling really lonely. You may have moments of loneliness or moments where you're like, I should probably date, or like, I wish I had more friends in this town because it's Friday and I like to go out. But for the most part, you guys are totally fine with being alone. You guys have a very well-regulated emotional state, emotional system, and you know how to kind of self-sustain and cheer yourself up and everything. And so people pick up on this vibe about you, that you're not like a desperate type of person. You seem almost, I feel, like a little bit of an ice queen in that sense, or people may be intimidated by this. They may even assume that you're unfriendly, because I feel like, you know, when other people are going around trying desperately to make friends, you're just kind of like, I'm good. Like, yeah, it's nice to meet you. But it's not like you're mean, but people may take that as like, oh my gosh, they didn't even want to be friends with me. Or you may have had people that you're now friends with that tell you like, you know, when I first met you, I thought you were so mean, or I thought you were so unfriendly or something. Because again, I feel like you guys have this air of exclusivity and choosiness to you. You don't seem like someone who's just desperate to hang out with anyone and sitting around lonely and trying to hang out. And the interesting thing is, I feel like, so Page of Wands is also a very enthusiastic card. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, I was like, you guys might have to bear with me with your descriptions, because you guys have a lot of duality, and I notice that a lot in people who are stars, celebrities, who capture a lot of attention. I've talked about this before, but they tend to have very contrasting astrology. So two signs that just seem like polar opposites, maybe even opposite on the astrological wheel. Like, I think Aquarius is opposite of Libra. So I may be wrong though. But yeah, you guys just seem, I don't think it is. I think I got that wrong. But anyway, like two signs like that just seem to have two very opposing types of personalities, and yet exist in one state. So I feel like for you guys, you're very enthusiastic at the same time as you're very kind of reserved and cool. You also have this side to you that's very youthful and enthusiastic about things. You're very like excited about life. And I feel like it's interesting because I feel that you guys may have been through some hardship, but it's almost like you don't show it. People can't tell because the vibe you give off is so like people can kind of tell that you've been through stuff, but there's a resilience to you, and you haven't let it take away your kind of childish enthusiasm. I feel like you guys still get excited about the things you enjoy, your hobbies, your interests. You still kind of smile, you're still upbeat. You still literally may not have aged that much. Some of you guys may look a great deal younger than your age. Page of Wands is all about kind of that youthful, fiery, excited energy, and it's also very creative, and I feel like a lot of you guys are creative as well, may even work as a creator or something like that. But it's funny because I feel like people get the vibe that also at the same time, while you have a lot of natural energy, you spend a lot of time chilling by yourself, like just resting. You may sleep a lot or meditate, or just, it's almost like I feel some people get a vibe from you where they think you're pampered. They may even think you're spoiled. I think this is what I'm saying, like about having contrast. It's almost like I feel like I'm contradicting myself sometimes, but these are all the things that are coming through. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why people do stare at you and look at you and pay attention to you, is because you're not easily easy to figure out. You're not one of the people that just, it's like you're one type of way. Like someone who's, you know, no offense to anyone like this, but like who's into football and also is a jock and also works out and also, you know, like just where it kind of is right down the line of what people would expect of someone. You know what I mean? And once they identify one characteristic, you fit all the others, etc. You know what I mean? Or seem a little nerdy and you're also introverted and also, you know, like read a lot and have glasses, like just a textbook type of person. You're not that way. You guys have, in fact, a lot of contrasts that kind of overlap and a lot of complexity with you. So I feel like you guys, although you have a lot of energy, you spend a lot of time like chilling. And I think even though you guys have been through stuff, people may get the vibe to you that you guys have been pampered. They may assume that some of you guys have like a sugar daddy or something, or that you've gotten money from powerful men with the emperor, or like that you have someone powerful paying your bills, because I feel like people can't figure out. You guys, honestly, a lot of you guys, I feel, look younger than your age, and I think it baffles people. I think when you tell them your age, a lot of people are like, what? Wait, what? You're not serious. Like they really genuinely are a little shocked. And then they're kind of like, well, how do they look so good? Did they pay for this, and that? Like, and so there's almost this assumption that you must have had this pampered life. I think you guys also tend to exude a kind of queen energy. So people just fill in the blank of like, oh, they must have always had money. They must be very spoiled in a way. Also with the emperor, what I'm getting is you guys have a little bit of an energetic mark on you related to possibly an ex-lover or someone that, it could also be like a powerful dad or someone, but I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is an ex-lover that was very much in love with you, that you do have a soul contract with. And I feel like this lover and is still very energetically linked in with you, whether you like it or not. I'm sorry for some of you guys, you may be like, is this loser still coming through my readings? Even this, but unfortunately they're still very energetically linked and focused on you. So I feel people can pick up on that vibe, and it's almost like when someone's been loved so much, it changes their vibe and their energy field, in my opinion. I also feel like even that will happen with a celebrity. You might not be that interested in a celebrity, but then you see two celebrities that seem so in love, and suddenly it changes your perspective of them. And it's almost like when you see someone who's so in love with someone, you suddenly see them through their eyes of the person doing the loving, if that makes sense. So I feel like you guys became possibly even more beautiful because of this loving relationship, and people can just tell you have this kind of mark on you, whether you're married to them or you guys don't talk and it's an ex, twin flame, or it was just a crush, or it was you know, a relationship that crashed and burned, or a situationship. It's almost like an energetic wedding ring, being like, this person really loved them, and people can just tell. And I feel like you guys give off the vibe that a lot of people have been possibly in love with you or very much had crushes on you, and that you have a lot of powerful men. It's almost like many of you guys can pick and choose who you date. If you're a guy watching this, it could be that you attract a lot of powerful, you know, top 10 out of 10 type women. But it's like you guys, I feel people get the vibe that you can pick and choose who you want to be with. And so that's the interesting thing about you, is it's almost like you guys are that person that gets invited to all the best parties in town but doesn't go. And whenever they do go, it's like a big deal. It's like, oh my gosh, Lauren's here tonight, you know, or like Lydia actually came. And so I feel like the thing is with love is like people can tell that you have a lot of love interests, you have a lot of people romantically interested in you. But with the Hermit, again, you guys are very discriminating about who you hang out with. You're not just going to date someone just because they have money or just because they look good or whatever. You're like, no, it has to be up here, it has to fit all my standards. And you guys are very choosy and picky about who you hang around, and so you give off a vibe of exclusivity and almost like hard to get. Like guys who are into a hard to get girl will love you guys, because you guys are that kind of ultimate prize of like, if someone chooses to if you choose to date someone, that is like the ultimate approval that anyone could ever ask for, because if they can get your approval, they can probably get anyone's, you know? So yeah, let's go into some of your other cards that I pulled. So we got Sky Dancers, Surrender, Winter's Dream, Gestation Period, Repairing the Veil, Forgiveness, Beloved, Radical Acceptance, and Netcaster, Preparations Come to Fruition. So you guys do give off a very feminine vibe with these two cards. Gestation, it's gestation, I think. And Repairing the Veil, this one to me looks like a corset, and I always associate it with divine feminine energy, and I feel like you guys exude that. Or if you're a guy watching this, it could be that you exude divine masculine energy, or you might be in your feminine energy, so whichever. But I feel like for a lot of you guys who are feminine energies, you're very much in it, and you guys naturally emanate this femininity and this beautiful vibe of, you know, being kind of gentle, creative, being lost in your own world. You're kind of like almost manic pixie dream girl vibes, but like way more level-headed, but still that level of creativity and joy and, you know, excitement about the world. You're not jaded at all. That's a really good way to put it. Like, you guys are, and I'm hearing Jaded by Aerosmith, but it's like the opposite of that. You're not jaded. You don't look at the world of like, well, nothing works out, oh well. Like, I feel like you guys have that kind of attitude of like, anything could happen, and maybe tomorrow I could win the lottery, and maybe I could fly to Cancun and start a business. And like, you guys are just super optimistic, seeing the glass half full type of people. I also feel like you guys have a natural grace or way of moving your body with Sky Dancers, that when you guys walk, just the way you kind of move your hips, some of you guys may have a very extreme, or not extreme, but like a defined waist to hip ratio. So you may have a small waist in proportion to your hips, and your hips kind of flare out, and I feel like that would be something that a lot of people are very attracted to. Some of you guys who again are women, you may want to showcase your figure in like, you know, dresses that nip in at the waist, or a shirt that nips in at the waist, like a peplum top or something, or a dress that's a sundress that kind of goes in and then flares out, because I feel like you guys have this very defined waist and people find it very irresistible. Also, the corset kind of talks about that, and I feel like, yeah, it's kind of like fertility idol vibes. You know, if you've ever seen what is it, Venus de Milo, or that there's a bunch of ancient fertility statues where like it's super exaggerated, where the waist comes in and then like the hips go out, and I feel like you guys have that, a lot of you guys naturally. So whatever else, you know, you guys have going on with your body, I think people are very attracted to that. Also with Beloved, again, I think you guys give off a vibe that you have been beloved. You have been very much someone that has captured someone's heart, possibly a very powerful person's heart, and people can just tell that you guys are someone that has almost had the best of the best, or has really been loved in your life. You have really had people who truly loved you and saw to your soul and just were obsessed with you, and so you give off that kind of energy, you know. It's almost like I'm seeing like Elsa Pataki, or, you know, Chris Hemsworth's wife, and I feel like it's like how she, like, people knew about her before, but when she started dating Chris Hemsworth, everyone started paying even more attention to her, because it was like, wow, how could she's so lucky. And it's almost like you guys are that same type of person, where people just are very impressed that you managed to capture someone's heart in the way you did. And it's almost like, I know it shouldn't work this way because it's kind of superficial, but I feel like you just emanate this vibe that you have been loved deeply by someone that a lot of people found desirable. So other cards we got are, oh, and Netcaster. I just feel like you guys are almost destined for success. Also with the sun as well, that kind of points to that, and the star. You guys do seem destined for kind of like, some of you guys may be famous one day, or may have a lot of success, money, wealth. I do think a lot of you guys are going to be having wealth and a lot of money. So it may be a journey to that. It may be not happening right away, but I definitely feel like that would be the end result for a lot of you. And you guys give off that vibe, like luxury vibes. Like even if you guys are dead broke, people probably assume you have money or that you have a lot of options. So other cards we got, Page of Wands again, the Hermit again, Eight of Swords, and Queen of Cups. So I was totally not shocked when the Queen of Cups came out. And in fact, I was shuffling that deck and it's kind of hard to shuffle. And and like a clump flew out, like 3 cards, and I saw the Queen of Cups and I was like, oh, that really resonates. I wonder if it's these people, it's the same energy. But I put it back in because I was saying 1 card at a time, Spirit, and of course it flew immediately back out. So I just feel like they really want you guys to know that you guys give off a Queen of Cups energy. So the Queen of Cups is super loving, sweet, creative, very intuitive, very deep, kind of similar to the High Priestess in a way. And I feel like a lot of you guys are very psychic, very intuitive. 4 of Swords kind of talks about that as well. And you guys give off a vibe that you guys do meditation or sleep a lot, or even some of you guys may be involved in kind of witchy practices in a way. So you may like light candles or do manifestation rituals or do tarot or do astrology. But I feel like people just know that you have this kind of otherworldly knowledge. You guys are in tune with the other realms, and you get messages and downloads, and you give off a psychic vibe, kind of like Stevie Nicks. I'm seeing her in my mind. If you guys are like, what's a witchy vibe? Stevie Nicks is a great example of that. So just coming off as someone who is psychic, intuitive, and just knows stuff. And it's almost like, I feel like some people may be a little almost scared at first, not fully scared, but like intimidated. Like they're like, whoa, because we got the Hermit coming through again. You guys have this kind of picky, exclusive, discriminatory vibe. Like you're not just gonna hang out with any old person, you're gonna hang out with the best of the best, or whoever you want to hang out with. And so combining that with your psychic abilities, it's like people are like, oh my gosh, this person's really judging me, and they can judge me really deep because they're so psychic. So it could make some people feel intimidated by you and almost react badly towards you. Like, you know, you might come up and say like, oh, could I have that muffin? And the checkout person is like weirdly rude to you, or is like very standoffish, and you're kind of like, that was so weird, I just asked for a muffin. But it may be because they don't want you kind of looking into their soul even for the 30 seconds when they're handing you the muffin, you know. So yeah, I feel like, again, with Page of Wands, that's coming through super strong. So you guys do have this enthusiasm to you. You have this, like, I feel like a lot of you guys are fun. And it's funny because you have this very ancient energy to you, that's very like wise, psychic, deep, but at the same time you have this fun, youthful vibe. It's really bizarre to have both. And you guys might be old souls who've incarnated a lot, but I feel like you give off a vibe of someone who would be so much fun at parties. Like if you actually choose to go, this might be another reason why people are like, oh my gosh, Lauren actually came tonight, is because I feel like when you actually choose to show up to a social engagement, you guys are like the life of the party. You make it fun, you make jokes, you just, even if you just danced, like it would, everyone else would want to dance. There's something, you know how like at clubs and stuff, they will pay go-go dancers to dance because they kind of set the tone, they set the vibe, they get other people dancing. Like that's like you, but you're not a paid go-go dancer. I mean, some of you may be, but it's like, just if you decide to come and like dance around lightly to the music, like I feel like other people would be like, oh, it's a really cool party, and oh, this is kind of fun, you know. It's like you guys kind of set the tone a little bit. I also feel like with the Eight of Swords, it's like you guys have been through tragedy, and this is what I mean with you guys having such contrasting energy. A lot of you guys have been through tragedy, even though some people see you at first as being very pampered. You also give off the vibe that you have experienced a lot of hardship, pain. Some of it may be related to this ex that was in your life that I think made an energetic mark on you. And it's like, People can tell that you guys have been through tragedy, but that you guys are so resilient and so strong. And I feel like that gives you an air of mystery and intrigue. It's kind of like I'm seeing like old French new wave films like Godard from like the 1960s, where like, you know, they're in like striped shirts and chain smoking and running around Paris, and it's all rainy and dark. Like that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting, where you have a little bit of melancholy to you, but it's not actually in like a genuinely depressed way. Although I'm not saying it's like fake. I just think you have your Page of Wands they kind of fight with each other. You guys may have other moody placements combined with very happy fire placements. So you might have, you know, a Scorpio moon or a Cancer moon or a Pisces moon or something. And then you also have a fire sun or a fire Venus or a fire Jupiter or whatever. But I feel like you guys have a contrast in you between how fun, happy, and bright you are, but also that you seem like someone who's been through tragedy. And I feel like, again, that creates this intrigue. People kind of can't figure it out at first. They just get this vibe, they're interested in it, and they just kind of don't know the whole story yet. So, but I think you do give off a vibe of like tragedy, but it's almost like glamorous tragedy, not to make light of it, especially if you guys have been through something really hard. But I think, you know, you guys rose from the ashes, whatever this is. You didn't let it bring you down. So it kind of isn't as much of a tragedy as it may have been for someone else. And it creates this intrigue about you. So we also got celebration, solitude again, light, and tree wisdom. So you guys come off as very wise, very intelligent, very, like I said, some of you guys just seem like ancient souls. Like you just have all these levels of knowledge. And it's funny because like in astrology, some of the beliefs in astrology are about how you incarnate each time through the signs, starting with Aries, ending with Pisces. So basically, you know, if you see someone who has a chart that's basically all the like the end signs, so like Capricorn, Sag, Aquarius, Pisces, and maybe some Scorpio or Scorpio, or what's the one before that? Virgo? No. But I mean, yeah, it could be Virgo. But yeah, anyway, I'm blanking on the air sign that comes right before Libra. Oh my God, Libra. Okay. So you may have some like all your planets in the lower half or the end half of the chart that you give up, that you're a really old soul. And it's almost like I'm getting a vibe with that for you guys, where you come off as someone who incarnated a lot. And the interesting thing about that is that each lifetime you learn the lesson of that sign. So Aries, the lesson is all about focusing on the self and prioritizing yourself and valuing yourself. Taurus is kind of about coming into union with people. It's also about learning hard work, the value of money. Gemini is kind of communication and all these things. So you go around the wheel learning each point. And my point is, you guys seem to have learned a lot of these lessons and have a lot of these qualities all in front of you, because you have aspects of each of the astrological wheel, if that makes sense. You guys have a lot of humor in you. You have a lot of funniness, which is kind of Gemini. And then you have a very like wise part of you, which is kind of Pisces. You guys have this fiery, excited youthfulness, which is kind of Aries. So it's like you guys have it all, honestly. And I think this is where people are very fascinated by you. Again, like I said, when you do decide to show up, you guys are a lot of fun to be around. You guys kind of add glamour to any party. I feel like a lot of you guys, people may stare at you because you may be glamorous. You may have a like makeup routine that's very glamorous. I'm seeing like pinks, peaches, and just like, I feel like if you do your makeup and stuff, which some of you guys also may have a very minimalist routine, or like just come off, like I keep getting like European vibes. So some of you guys may also be into what's that I always blank on the name, but academia core or something, dark academia. And I don't know, but I keep getting like European vibes. So you may do like winged eyeliner as well or something like that. But I feel like whatever you guys do, you look very glamorous, intriguing. You may have dark hair. Or I feel like however you do your hair, you guys almost give off a vibe of like a brunette, like intelligent, no offense to blondes or anything. I have blonde hair right now, so no offense, but like intelligent, kind of deep. There's a lot of depth to you. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. No offense to any blondes or brunettes. But you guys come off as very wise, and you do exude a lot of life. A lot of light and life. You guys are kind of the life of the party, and I feel like you guys, you have a lot of power emanating from you. You have a very strong life force. So we also got great adventure, wise leader, passion and pleasure, and grounding. So I feel like this card, you can see this woman is going off and like just by herself, like reading a book, and she just looks super peaceful, happy, and is just kind of minding her business by herself and having a great time. And I feel like that is pretty much how you guys are. Oh, I don't know how I zoomed in. But yeah, so you guys give off a vibe, I feel like, of spending a lot of time doing that, where it just seems like you guys spend a lot of time with yourself. I'm hearing the phrase like, I'm my favorite person. So again, you guys don't seem needy or like you're desperate to hang out with people or you're desperate to have friends. You just come off as someone who is very self-reliant and enjoys your own time. But when you do hang out, you guys have a lot of passion. You also exude a sexuality. I feel like a lot of people are just attracted to you and imagine that you would be really, really good in bed. There's also this braveness to you with like great adventure. It's like you guys just aren't as afraid as other people. You may even, you know, have done risky things like gone bungee jumping or, you know, suddenly moved to a new city and just packed up your stuff and left, or you may love to try like new cuisines. And I just feel like you guys have a vibe of someone who, it's almost like Gryffindor from Harry Potter, because I think that house is all about bravery. So you guys may be Gryffindors, like if you took that sorting house test, where you guys just seem brave. Like you guys just seem like if there was a battle or a fight, you would be that one that could rush in first and take it on and, you know, go for it. And you guys, I feel like people respect that about you. It's almost like, you know, again, there's so much duality in you, but people may get a wrong impression of you first, and they think you're so pampered and sheltered and like, oh, they just have had this easy life. And then they may look at you a little bit longer and start getting the vibe of, I don't know, actually, this person probably isn't the one to mess with. They may challenge you, or like I said, that, you know, if you're buying that muffin, you might get attitude from the person at first and they give you a weird vibe, and then you say something back and they realize like, oh, this isn't the one to mess with, actually. And they're not some scared, shy, little spoiled rich girl who doesn't know how to fight. You know what I mean? So we got the silver waterfall, luminosity, the sacred woman, commitment, and sexuality. So again, you guys exude a sexuality. I'm not surprised we got luminosity or the sacred woman. I was thinking the sacred woman was going to come out as I was shuffling, and it did. And also I was thinking divine feminine might come out, but it didn't. But I also get that vibe. But yeah, you guys have a spiritual component to you for sure, and that exudes very strongly from you. Even some of you guys may wear crystals or have crystals on your body, or there's something that people just can kind of tell. I'm hearing she's a witch or something, so people can kind of tell that you guys are spiritually enlightened. And again, luminosity, like I just think you guys have a very beautiful face. I think genuinely, like even without all this energy, which does add so much to it, but like your face is straight up beautiful. Your bone structure, your features are just very pleasingly arranged, and I think people are just, you know, they wouldn't mind staring at your face for like hours just to look at like the slope of your nose and your cheekbones and your eyes. Like you guys may have also very I'm feeling like you guys have very stunning deep eyes. There's a lot of depth to them. You may have like interesting specks or, you know, color gradations within your eyes where, you know, there's like depth there and people can kind of look into them and see a little fleck of gold or a little color change as it goes from the iris in, you know, like I feel like your eyes are just very beautiful and very deep and mysterious. And yeah, so a lot of people would want to commit to you, but I also think with commitment, this is that past relationship that is coming in super strongly in your energy field where people just get the vibe that it's almost like this person has been loved very deeply and you're still connected to this person. I know some of you guys may hate to hear that because you may have tried to cut off this person, but sorry, I mean, I'm the messenger, but this person is still connected to you. And I think, but it's almost like, you know, when you see like a VIP who has like a wife or something, like, and they have bodyguards following them around or something, and you're like, oh, that woman must be really important because she has a team of bodyguards around her. That's kind of like you guys energetically with this person. I do think they may send their team to watch over you, or you guys are just super energetically linked. But yeah, I feel like their guides are very aware of you, and I do think they try to protect you or they're with you a lot. But people can definitely get the vibe that you guys are looked after in that way, or that you guys were very special to this person. And so we also got love. Speaking of the same subject, this guy just keeps coming through, or girl, whatever it is. Relaxation, potential, blessings, and purity. So again, you guys, even though you have been through stuff, you still have this youthful, pure, sweet energy to you, where I feel like even though you guys have been a wise old soul who knows kind of the darkness of the world, you still look at things through rose-colored glasses. You still try to see the very best in people. You still try to be very optimistic and bright-eyed and wide-eyed about like, this will happen. Like you guys may try to avoid seeing like really depressing news stories or like crazy videos on Twitter. You know how whenever there's a really depressing or horrible news story, they'll like, sometimes it gets filmed and then, you know, all that stuff will circulate around and it'll be like, you know, a footage of a shooting or something like that. And I feel like you guys may actively try to avoid watching that stuff because you're trying to protect yourself. You may try to avoid watching like pornography and other stuff that can jank up the energy field. So I feel like you guys have kept yourselves relatively pure and kept this innocent attitude towards things. Even if you have seen other stuff, it's like you guys have this innate purity to you and you've done your best to keep that intact. And yeah, again, with like the meditating, with the vibe that people just assume you're like a lady of leisure or a gentleman of leisure. Like you just don't seem like someone who's had to like work super hard, you know, breaking their back at work and a job they hate. You just seem like someone who has this kind of blissed out, chilled out, relaxed vibe. Like people may be like, gee, what are they even on? Some people may even think you did like drugs or something because it's like you seem so chilled. There may even be situations where people are freaking out or super stressed out and you're just kind of like, huh, not a big deal. And sometimes people, that may frustrate them, but I feel like you guys are just a lot more wise. So I also feel like with potential and blessings coming through, again, we're talking about that you guys have the potential to build a lot of wealth and a lot of money, and people get that vibe from you. Like you may give off that vibe of someone who's going to be a star, someone who's attractive enough to be a celebrity, to be a public face of something, to be famous, or to be in magazines or something. And I feel like when people meet you, it's like they may say something like that. They may think something like that. They may be like, oh, like, you know, it's like how when they talk to people from the hometown of a certain celebrity and they'll all say like, oh, we always knew she was going to be a star, or we always knew he was going to be a star, or he was the cutest guy in his like high school and we all just could tell, like, I don't know, something like that. I feel like that's a vibe you guys give off as like you're destined for something great, and if you guys choose to go on that path, you could like instantly succeed. Let's get into more cards for pile one. I think this is my final pull. What do people think Why do people stare at pile 1? Why do people stare at pile 1? Why do people stare at pile 1? So psychic abilities, confidence, manifestation, and peace. So you guys do give off a very pure vibe. I do feel like you guys may have a very strong life purpose. Like I was saying, you guys may be destined for some kind of fame, money, wealth, and you give off that vibe. I also think that you people, again, with the psychic abilities, it's like this witchy Stevie Nicks vibe. People can pick up that you guys, it's almost like you know that you guys are beautiful. Like I feel like nothing I said is a surprise. You probably weren't surprised when the star came out first. You were probably like, yep, that's about right, because you guys already know that people turn and do stare at you, and you can tell that when you walk into a room, like people's heads turn, they want to know about you. You already know that. So it's like you guys exude this confidence because you just know that's a part of your birthright, and it will probably never change. Again, a lot of you guys are aging extremely slowly anyway, and I feel like even if you age, like you'll still look amazing. Like I think I was looking at photos of Angelina Jolie the other day, and you know, I think she's almost 50, but she just looks still so regal, and she looks like 50, but she looks so stunningly beautiful. And so it's like I feel like you guys, no matter what age you are or what age you ever become, you guys will always have this beautiful regal quality to you. And again, what's coming through more is this thing you have. It could be a soul connection, it could be a soul contract that you have with this past ex, or maybe it's someone coming in the future. But it's like you guys have definitely been loved very strongly, and that emanates really strong from you guys. People can truly tell that you guys have had some kind of a deep, passionate relationship, or are destined for that in the future, and it's made a deep impression on your energy field, to be honest. So I think people can just pick up on it. I think overall, I mean, it's like, what reason do people not stare at you? There's so much here to go through and to, you know, to choose from as far as what the reason would be. Like, I just feel like, again, you guys are very beautiful. You guys give off a star quality charisma, as the French call it, a je ne sais quoi. So it's like you guys are just someone who's very eye-catching, period, point blank. And then combining that with you guys having this kind of regal, witchy, psychic vibe. Again, you guys might be Pisces, Cancers, Scorpios. I could definitely see a Scorpio vibe for sure. Pisces as well, Cancer, but it's any of the, I mean, you guys have so much, like I said, you guys have so much of the astrological wheel in you that I could see any sign, because again, I feel like there's a lot of contrast here. There's a lot of signs that play off each other. I feel like you guys probably have a pretty diverse astrological chart. But you guys for sure are like a star, and I just think people are extremely intrigued by you. They probably think about you long after you've left this muffin shop example that we have. Like long after you walked out with your muffin, people are still going to be thinking about like, wow, that girl from this morning, wow, she had, and I feel like a lot of you guys have like long dark hair or beautiful hair that's long. And for the women, at least, some of the guys, I don't know, maybe you have long hair for a guy or something, but for a lot of you women, I feel like it's like long hair and it's beautiful. And like, I don't know, there's like this glamour about you guys. Your eyes are very mesmerizing. And you just give off a vibe of someone who's super self-reliant and spends time on their own, but again, by choice. It's like there's this exclusivity to you, and people want to know more because it's like kind of like a private members club that you can't get into. And even if you don't care about the place, you just want to be able to go just to say you went and just to know what it's like inside and what the interior looks like and what the food tastes like. Like that's how people feel about you, is like the more you guys are kind of picky about who you hang around, the more people are like, I need to know. I gotta know what this person's doing. I gotta know their secrets. So yeah, you guys are very, very attractive and definitely these little stars of the zodiac. So I think that's all the information I have for you guys. I really hope it helped. If you guys want to subscribe to my Patreon, the link is in my bio. I just posted a video about what would they feel like if they saw you with someone else, and my last video before that was an 18 plus what are their fantasies video. So if you guys would like to join me over at Patreon, we're gonna have another video posted very soon, and I'm really excited about all the content we have over there. So join me over there if you want to, and I will be back very soon with another video. Please let me know your thoughts. If it resonated, if you liked it, let me know. Leave it a big thumbs up, guys, and subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Take care. Bye. Hey pile 2, so if you guys picked this blueberry tart, this is going to be your reading. This literally looks so good. It looks just like a real blueberry pie, and it literally is giving me super strong cravings for a blueberry pie. I seriously might have to drive to the store after this and get one or something because it looks so good. There's also this mint leaf for decoration and some crushed nuts as well, so it looks amazing. And then all the detail of the flaky pastry, it truly looks super realistic. So anyway, let's get into your cards and your reading. You guys got the Queen of Swords, Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, Five of Cups, the Emperor, the Nine of Wands, and Justice. So I feel like what's coming through for you guys, why people stare at you, is you guys come off as highly intelligent. First of all, you guys come off as well as being very creative, very much an intellectual. I feel like you guys give off the vibe of almost like someone who should be living downtown and like, you know, going to poetry readings at night and like, I don't know, working at an art gallery or something. You give off kind of this intellectual, creative vibe, and people probably assume that you're involved in that somehow. I almost feel like there's a vibe where when they meet you, you may sometimes seem distracted or in your own energy because some of you guys may be involved in like certain fandoms or have certain interests that kind of take you out of this reality and put you in another reality. So you just may seem like someone who's kind of has this ethereal quality where you're existing in two realms. You also might have strong air energy in your chart, so that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or it could also be Virgo because that's ruled by Mercury, or a strong Mercury aspecting your sun or your ascendant. But you come off as someone who's very well spoken, very smart, and I also feel like that may be intimidating for a lot of people because I feel like when they meet you, it's almost like you seem like someone who would be able to out argue anyone in an argument. There's like a toughness you guys have to you, like you guys may have been through some hard stuff, or you may have grown up with parents who were kind of cutting or something like that. But I feel like you guys kind of know how to handle yourselves verbally, and you know what to say. I feel like if there was, you know, a waitress who was having a really bad day and wanting to take her anger out on a random person, they wouldn't pick you because you would know how to clap back or what to say. I feel like a lot of you guys may have even like social media that may deal with certain interests you have. I'm honestly seeing like cottagecore or dark academia or something like that. I keep seeing images of European cities like Amsterdam or Paris or London. I feel like you guys give off almost a European vibe, even if you're not ethnically European, but I feel like you give off like this intellectual, artistic quality that, I don't know, like we kind of associate with Europe, or like Prague, or beautiful old cities with like cathedrals and art galleries and little sidewalk cafes. Like you guys just seem like you would fit in a place like that. A lot of your interests, I feel, are very intellectual and almost like highbrow, creative, artistic. You might have artistic hobbies, like you might be into painting or writing poetry, or might be writing a book, or even fan fiction, or I don't know, publications for like a local or just an online magazine or something. But I feel like you guys are highly, or come off as highly intellectual and very smart. And sometimes people might even be offended by this, and they might say things like, oh, well, you think you're too good for this place, or, you know, you think you're too good for here. But I feel like a lot of you guys, it's like you may have grown up in circumstances that you didn't like, and you had to develop a toughness, and you guys are like very much determined to like get rid of those surroundings and to find a better life for yourself. And so you kind of don't care if someone has a problem with it, because you guys are very committed to that journey and you guys are working hard to get there. So to you, you don't really care if someone is going to be offended or take offense to it, because you know where you want to end up. I think something that also comes through is you guys, maybe people get a vibe of you that you might be involved in like social justice causes, or that you guys would have some kind of a passion for, yeah, like a social cause. Some of you guys may be vegans or something, or just you might get your news from like alternative news sources, or like not trust, you know, mainstream media and stuff. And you guys may be involved in certain passion social projects that you have, where you work to help a certain group of people, or, you know, or a certain cause of some kind. I feel like this is the vibe people get. Sometimes it may even make people limit themselves, where they're like, oh, well, I can't say that in front of this person. Usually I would say this, but I'm not going to say that. Or kind of like, I don't want to get in an argument with this person about that, so I'm just not going to talk. You may find people kind of, I feel like people would probably guess, politically speaking, that you would be like more progressive, and they may make judgments about that, positive or negative, and may think that, you know, they don't want to talk to you about it, or they do want to talk to you about it. I mean, you guys might not even be a political person, but I just feel like this is a judgment people have, where they get a vibe from you where they're like, oh, I bet this person is into this cause or something. Some of you guys may even dress kind of like unconventionally, I feel like. You might like enjoy, you know, dressing in a way that like makes people, I don't know, like you might have like a nose ring or dyed hair that's like dyed, you know, a purple color or something. That's not everyone, but I just feel like however you guys dress, you definitely stand out wherever you go. And so I feel like that's one reason people stare at you, is because you obviously put a lot of effort and thought into what you guys wear. Like, you guys don't mind being individuals, you guys don't mind looking however you want to look, and you don't really care if someone is going to be offended or think it's weird, as long as it's how you like to dress. I'm also getting, though, for others of you, kind of like Kate Middleton vibes. Like, you know how she always dresses in like this very English quality, and she'll wear like jeans, and, you know, boots, and like a jacket that's like a houndstooth jacket or a tweed jacket or something, or she'll wear a sweater, and it's kind of like an intellectual quality to how you guys dress. There's some intellectual thing with how you guys present yourselves, where I feel like people just think of you as highly intelligent and someone, like I said, that should be going to like poetry readings like in like downtown Manhattan. I feel like, yeah, if you guys were a car, it would be like a Volvo for some reason. Isn't that the car from Twilight where they were always like, oh my God, a Volvo? Like, but I feel like the point of that was like, you know, someone who has a lot of money could choose to drive around in like a Maserati or a Lamborghini, but you guys aren't that type. Like, even if you have a lot of money, you guys are very intellectual about it, and you would probably pick the car that's like the safest, not the flashiest. And you don't want to necessarily get attention in that way. I think you guys are someone who's probably respected. People probably see you and have a lot of respect for you and think like, this person is super smart. So we also got Page of Swords, again another sword, the Chariot, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, again 7 of Pentacles, and 4 of Cups. So again, with the 4 of Cups, On the description, it says distraction, self-absorption, discontentment, but that's not how I think of the Four of Cups. And of course they have to shorten it for these cards. To me, it's not such a negative card. I feel like you guys come off as someone who, like I said, kind of exists in two realms or on two planes, almost like the spiritual creative plane and this plane. So even if you guys are working at like a convenience store, you seem like someone who might be writing a book at the same time, or who is secretly, you know, reading the news in between customers, or who is reading up on their cause and planning to go to like a protest on the weekend. You know what I mean? So there's this intellectual quality and this mental, you guys being caught between two worlds. So even though you're there, you're not fully there. You know what I mean? And I think that that might be a way that you guys have survived when you've been around people that don't understand you, or if you grew up in a place where people don't understand you, and there's not a lot of creative people. And in a way to deal with like the judgments, maybe you kind of have, like I said, a certain TV show that you're obsessed with, or a certain book or movie series, and maybe you read the fan fiction, or maybe you just are reading books all the time, traditional published books, or maybe you're writing something, or you have an Instagram or a TikTok or a Tumblr that's dedicated to a certain type of photo that you really love and that inspires you. But it's almost like you are in this world, but you're in another world as well. And I feel like people may be annoyed by that sometimes. They may accuse you of like, oh, well, she never pays attention to us. She thinks she's better than us. She thinks she's too good for everyone here. But I think that you guys have used this as a way to survive, because certain people have not understood you and probably never will understand you. And in a way, you guys also give off a vibe of someone who is moving strongly and quickly to try to change your circumstances and to try to align yourself with people that will understand you more. So if you didn't grow up with a lot of money, or in a situation where you could be exposed to intellectual type of people, I feel like you guys are on the path to that, and you give off a vibe of someone who is on the fast track to something like that. Because I feel like it's almost like I'm getting like valedictorian vibes, or class president vibes, or someone who would be giving the speech at graduation vibes, but someone who is extremely smart, and you just know that no matter what happens in their life, they're going to end up making money and probably being recruited to a company, or going off to a really good college or something like that, and ending up ultimately having success no matter where they started at, because you guys are such good speakers and super smart and super intelligent. I feel like in a way this creates a mystery and intrigue about you, because it's almost like people feel they have to compete for your attention with whatever it is you guys are reading, or whatever movie you're into at the moment, or your creative projects. You don't seem like someone who's just like paying attention to like, oh, the school dance is on Friday, I'm so excited. Like, you guys are thinking of these big topic, big picture things. And so it's like, if someone wants to be in your life, they're not just competing with whatever you have going on at that moment, but they're competing with this kind of dream world you live in that I think helps you guys manifest what you want and move towards it. So I feel like if someone is trying to get to know you, they're really gonna have to bring it in order for you to choose to like go out with them on Friday night, instead of like stay in and read your new favorite book that you're into, or whatever it is. And so yeah, you guys have created this kind of really vivid, beautiful world for yourself, and I think a lot of people are very intrigued by it, and they kind of want to know, like, what are they thinking about, what are they studying, why do they always have a book in their hand, why are they always you know, kind of have a distant look in their eyes, and kind of just seem like they're not fully paying attention, but they're super smart. And I can never, you might even have a boss or bosses who have like gotten mad at you, like, well, you're always like half on your phone while you're working, or you're always doing this, but they can never really get you in trouble, because I feel you guys are so smart that you don't like screw things up. So even if you guys are, you know, actually thinking the whole time about some story you're writing, you give off you are able to manage your work very well, and you're still very on top of things. So even if they're trying to like catch you out and, you know, get you in trouble for that, they just can't, because you guys are too smart and you're able to like cover it up. Even if you're working half as hard as someone else, kind of, you'll get the same amount of work done. And so I feel like you give off a vibe of someone who is headed for prosperity, success. I definitely could see you guys, this is the vibe of like a housewife that like shops at like Williams Sonoma, or she's not a housewife because she's actually, you know, like a manager at a nonprofit and lives in like, I don't know, Washington, DC, or lives in Boston and lives in like a really nice townhouse with like a wreath on it, and goes to art galleries and like, I don't know, collects poetry books. Like, I feel like this is just, yeah, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. So let's get other cards. So we got Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic, lost in space, needing direction, joyful muse, inspiration, covenant, sacred contract, and Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future. So I feel like, yeah, you guys are headed for this really strong future success, and people can definitely get that vibe of you. They can tell that you guys are headed for some kind of a prosperous future of what kind I feel like the world is kind of your oyster, and you guys can decide, because again, I feel like you guys would make an asset to so many different companies. Your intelligence covers a lot of different realms, so it's almost like whatever you guys wanted to learn, you could. But I think people definitely get a creative vibe from you with joyful muse and covenant, sacred contract. I feel like some of you guys may be into painting or some kind of art, maybe pottery, maybe fashion design or something, and also writing. A lot of you guys, I keep getting writer vibes. So if you're not doing this stuff, I feel like this is just the impression people have, that you guys, you know, do art on the weekends, or you guys write on the, you know, at night when you get home from work. You just have that kind of quirky writer, creative quality, and highly intelligent as well. So yeah, people are just making that assumption. I feel like some of you guys may be interested in other cultures. You may want to travel, or you may be interested in a certain culture. A lot of you guys are very open to the world. Like if someone is like, oh, I really want you to try, you know, Korean food, you're not going to be like, oh my God, ew, that's disgusting, ugh, yuck. You're not like a judgmental person. You are going to be like, oh, I'd love to try it, even before you probably hear what it's like or hear the first thing on the menu. You're going to be open and down, because you guys are very open to new cultures, and you guys are very open to like learning and exploring the world and having different experiences in life. So I feel like you guys are in for this really strong future, and some of it may involve travel. People may also assume that you guys are well traveled, or you may come off as someone who has a lot of knowledge of other cultures, or even speaks other languages, because I feel like you just seem like, yeah, like very cultured, you know? So we also got Hummingbird Spirit, Joy, Air Spirit, Knowledge, Wizard of the Woods, Focus, and Storm Spirit, Chaos. So it's so funny how strong air energy is coming through in this reading. So it may be, again, that would be Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, and Virgo as well, is ruled by Mercury. So it's an earth sign, but I'll lump it in here too as well. But yeah, you guys come off as super knowledgeable, and also like you have a strong focus. I feel like you guys are come off as that person in class who would like know all the answers, even if you're not the one to actually raise your hand and answer the teacher. Like people just assume you know. You might have had people turn to you on group projects and just be like, well, what's going on, or what do you think, or ask to borrow your homework or something like that. I feel like you guys just seem so smart, and you seem like someone who is destined to go off to like an Ivy League school, or to work for a Fortune 500 company, or to work for a really influential nonprofit or something like that. I also keep getting, like I said, European city vibes. So you might not be European ethnically speaking, but you might be inspired by, I don't know, certain European style of clothing, or like, I feel like some of you guys may be into like cottagecore or dark academia, because I keep seeing images that kind of remind me of that. and I keep seeing like cobblestone European cities. So I feel like the way you dress just seems like that. And almost people may wonder, like, are they from Europe, or did they spend time in Europe, or are they from like the really big city? You know, like it's almost just like, yeah, like artists, intellectual, like people might assume that you are like an artist in a downtown loft, and you know, or you're like a teacher at the local college and you go to poetry readings on the weekends, and that kind of a vibe, you know, that kind of a crowd. So yeah, other cards we got are the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, Discernment, Clear Vision, Details, the Web Weaver, Synchronicity, Divine Intelligence, Cause and Effect, and the Sundancers, Joyful Activity, Celebration of Life, Abundance. So again, all these qualities about you kind of make you destined for abundance and success. People just see you as someone who will inevitably come into money. I keep seeing like the kind of wealthy neighborhoods in like wealthy American cities like San Francisco or Seattle or Washington, D.C. or Boston, where there will be those big houses, you know, with like a very fresh, nice, real wreath on the outside, and like I get a Volvo in the parking, what's it called? Parking garage or parking spots, the driveway, I guess, like looking like the house from Home Alone, with everything like well decorated, and you know, a woman comes out and she's in like a pair of stovepipe jeans and a vest, and she's kind of dressed down. She's not trying to look flashy, she's not trying to like stunt with like, you know, her neon outfit or looking like Kim Kardashian or something. She just looks very smart, well-dressed, intellectual, and very almost like a little modest. Like she's not trying to impress, and she doesn't care if she impresses, and she just looks smart. You're just like, oh, that lady probably went to a really prestigious college and probably, you know, has a really nice job or had one at one time. I don't know. That's the vibe I keep getting for you guys. And I feel like you guys, yeah, there may be, I feel like a lot of people are intimidated by you. I feel like if they stare at you, it's sometimes because, again, they may get like triggered by the fact that it's almost like, oh, this person thinks they're better than us, or this person doesn't accept the way we live, or they may make assumptions about your politics. That may or may not be true, but they may think that, again, you're like super progressive or something, and or it could be the other way, like conservative. But I feel like sometimes people just make these random political assumptions about you, and they think that you must be a certain way, and they get annoyed by it, and they get kind of upset that like you would feel that way, and you're like, I've never even spoken to you, I don't know you, but people assume that you guys must fall on one end of the political spectrum, and I feel like they make judgments that like you're judging them. They judge you by thinking that you're judging them because of how you look. So yeah, it's almost like people think you're a little bit judgmental, and they assume almost that you think you're too good for them, or that you think you're too good for the place you grew up, or you guys, you know, have no respect for them or whatever. But I feel like it's just that you guys want a better life for yourselves, and a lot of you guys did have to grow up with hardship, and you're just not willing to continue it, and you guys are willing to work hard, and you know how hard your life was, or how hard life can be, and you really want to kind of break that cycle and create a better life for the future. So other cards we got are Flourish, Magical Blessings, Magical Gateway, and Believe in Magic. So a lot of magic. So you guys may even give off like a witchy vibe. I think Stevie Nicks is a great example of like a witchy vibe, because sometimes people are like, what the heck does witchy vibe mean? And I'm like, I don't know, Stevie Nicks, you know, singing like Rhiannon, like that is a witchy vibe to me. But I feel like you guys don't come off as, I don't want to say disheveled, because I love Stevie Nicks and I love her style, so I'm totally not trying to put any negative association whatsoever on her, but I feel like you guys just seem a lot more put together, I guess. You guys seem like you guys have your ish locked down. You know, Stevie could be a little chaotic at times, but we love that about her. But I feel like you guys just seem a lot more balanced. Or like if you guys have chaos, that it's something you want to deliberately cause, like you're like, we're gonna go protest this like factory farm or something, and you deliberately make it happen for, like, again, one of the social justice things or a certain cause you care about. But I don't feel like you guys seem chaotic in general. You seem very mentally well balanced. But I do think you may give off a witchy vibe of someone who has psychic abilities or someone who does witchy stuff that may make people a little freaked out, especially if you do live in a small town. People might be able to get the vibe that you're into like astrology, tarot, manifestation, etc. So yeah, there may be a little bit of like, oh my gosh, that, you know, almost like, oh, they don't go to church or something like that, or they are into astrology and oh my gosh, like, I don't know, something about that. But I feel like people can tell that you guys are in for a lot of blessings. You guys are going to, if you have grown up without a lot of financial abundance, that you're breaking that cycle and you guys are forming a new destiny for yourselves. And we also got home. So I feel like you guys seem destined to create a nice home for yourself, and like someone who is searching also for a place of belonging. Some of you guys may have felt like you didn't belong where you grew up, and like the people around you, you just didn't even like them. Like they didn't understand you, you didn't understand them, and you don't really respect how they live their lives. And you're kind of on the search for finding people who you can respect and who will have similarities with you in terms of their interests, who will be into art or into writing and all those things, and you'll actually be able to kind of have a conversation with them, agree with them. You might have been around sometimes people you grew up with, this will only resonate for some, but people who said offensive things or things that you found to be very small or narrow-minded. You know, someone who maybe is from a different generation or something, but said things that you found offensive, or like it was very closed-minded and judgmental, and you just didn't like to be around it. And so it's like you're kind of on the search for someone who, or people who will be open-minded like you are, and who won't make crazy statements that are offensive. And so you're looking to find, I feel like, that tribe, that community. And I think people may be a little intimidated by that, because it's like, again, there's this sense that you guys are not willing to tolerate trashy behavior. You're not going to tolerate closed-mindedness or rudeness or discrimination. And so it's like people may really watch their tongue around you, and maybe normally they would feel comfortable spouting off and saying something offensive, but now they're like, okay, I'm gonna watch my P's and Q's, I'm gonna be careful about what I say, because they know you guys really don't play, and you guys can have a very sharp tongue when you want to, and you can put them in check. And so they know it, and so they may watch themselves, but then they resent you at the same time of like, I can't believe I can't believe I'm not even allowed to say that anymore. You know what I mean? They may not want to do some self-reflection and be like, why did I want to say that in the first place? They may just feel more comfortable projecting it onto you and acting like you're unreasonable because you won't tolerate certain things. But I just feel like, yeah, people are watching what they say around you, and they get a judgmental vibe, or that's how the negative interpretation would be, where they feel like they have to really be on their best game. And like, you guys are also highly intelligent, so if they slip up and say something stupid, that you will be like, oh, what did you just say? That doesn't make any sense, or whatever. Like, you guys are capable of calling stuff out. So again, we have more of this intelligent, intellectual vibe, maturity, sexual freedom, and worthiness. So I feel like you guys do seem very mature emotionally. You guys may have grown up around emotionally immature people who hadn't done, like, it's almost like I feel like you guys may have done therapy, or you may have looked up or know like therapy terms, or know you know, kind of intellectual ways of thinking about things that are highly intelligent and not an immature way of viewing the world, I guess. Like, you may have done, you know, kind of like work about like, okay, in my childhood I learned this, but I'm actually going to unlearn it and I'm going to do this instead, and that kind of a thing. So I feel like you guys have worked on your maturity and you've taken a critical eye towards some of the people around you and how you grew up or the values they tried to instill in you, and you come off as mature. You have an air of maturity about you and being wise beyond your years. And so again, I feel like there's a lot of intimidation happening. There's a lot of people kind of feeling a little on guard towards you. They're intrigued by you, but they're also like, I know I need to come correct with what I say. Also, you guys may have, some of you guys may have had different kind of sexual experiences. Some of you guys may not be like a traditional sexual identity or whatever, where you're like totally straight or whatever. You might be bi or asexual or something. I don't know. That will only resonate for some, but I feel like you come off as someone who is sexually a little bit experienced, or someone who has like is open-minded, I guess. Like, if someone was to tell you that they were gay, you wouldn't flip out. Or, I mean, that's kind of like bottom of the barrel standard for being accepting, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, you guys are, or if someone was to tell you they were asexual or whatever, I feel like you guys would be understanding, or you would be like, oh, okay, like, that kind of a thing. Or if someone was like, oh, well, I slept around a lot, you would be accepting as well. And some of you guys may also give off the vibe of someone who is sexually experienced and has had some sexual like experiences in your life, and kind of knows what they're doing in bed. So I feel like people would be intrigued by that, because I feel like a lot of you guys were or are someone who, you know, you're not like this wilting flower who has never done anything and who wouldn't know what to do. You guys probably know what you're doing, and you give off, like, you guys just seem in general like you're kind of like an expert at everything. Maybe you guys are just that smart and you just figure things out really quick, but I feel like people just feel you have a lot of expertise and knowledge in all these different areas. Yeah, and I feel like some of you guys are really like well groomed, or you take care of your looks. You like seem like you're kind of well showered, someone who like always makes sure that they smell good and, you know, that they look kind of neat and tidy. You don't seem like you're like running around disheveled, or like you are running around and you haven't showered for a week. Like, you just seem like someone who always looks somewhat neat and has, you know, their hair brushed, and if they wear makeup, you know, their makeup on, applied well. Like, you guys just do things well, I feel. So we also got all tied up, envy, contract, and door to personal healing and happiness. So I feel like with all tied up, this could be also an echoing of that same sexual vibe, where you guys just seem like you may have been that person that has, you know, tried to be tied up in bed, or it would be into that, or is someone who has, you know, experience with like BDSM or something like that, you know, maybe some people would be shying away from or wouldn't be into. You guys are more open-minded and you're not afraid to go there. And I feel like people can tell that vibe from you, that you guys are just open to different experiences and stuff, in sexuality and in general in life. I feel like there also might be a lot of envy directed at you, because again, it's almost like I keep hearing stuff like, oh, you think you're better than us, or you think you're too good for this, or you think you're smarter than everyone. Oh, well, you're not, you know, or whatever. I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of people around you that may have grown up in like a small town or had a small attitude towards the world, and they expect you to live the exact same kind of life that they did. They expect you to have the same kind of career and the same kind of lifestyle, and there's something you guys are breaking about that. There's kind of generational you know, curses or generational tendencies that you guys are breaking out of. So you guys are kind of putting an end to it, and it may rub people the wrong way, and people get the vibe from you that you guys are very much an individualist who isn't going to tolerate you know, just like, oh, well, we've always been doing it like this, or, well, that's just how it's always been done in this family, or that's how it's always been done in this town, or what's the big deal? Who cares? Like, you know, you guys are going to look at things, and if they need to change, you're willing to change them, and you're willing to speak up and be that voice to say, like, this needs to go. This can't keep going. It needs to end. So there's this strength you guys have. This is why I think a lot of people don't want to mess with you or come for you, because they can see that, especially your voice is very strong. You might have a very strong throat chakra, but you guys know how to speak up for yourself. You're highly intelligent. I'm almost getting lawyer vibes, and contract kind of points to that. Some of you guys would make really good lawyers because you're super smart. You're kind of good at arguing, and you're just not one to be messed with. I also feel like people can tell that you're on a personal healing journey. You guys are working to maybe go through childhood trauma and, you know, patch that back together and like unlearn some of the stuff that happened during your childhood, or not tolerate bad behavior from like extended family. Like if someone's gonna say like, oh, well, that's Aunt Rachel and she hates this group of people. She always has, but that's just because this, and it's not a big deal. Just forget about it. You're going to be that one who's like, absolutely not. No. Nope, not happening around me, not on my watch. And so you guys are kind of breaking this generational stuff. It keeps coming through, and you guys are working to heal yourself and working to say like, that's not the life I want for myself or for any of my offspring if I have them. Some of you guys might not even want to have children or anything, but you guys are not willing to tolerate the status quo and just go along to get along. You guys are kind of fighters, and you're willing to take an intellectual kind of magnifying lens to everything and look at it and be like, wait, let's look at this dysfunction. Wait, hold on, rewind the tape. You said what now? Okay, let's break that down. Like you guys are, I feel like, yeah, people are intimidated by this presence you have. People feel that you almost are like a disruptor, and there is a fear around you. So I feel like when people stare at you, it's because when they first meet you, they're intrigued by your vibe. They see you as being very regal. Like it's like you guys have a quality to you that just seems like you guys know your worth. You're not going to be rattled. You have a self-confidence, and then there's this intellectual quality that exudes from you, this intelligence, and you guys carry yourselves like someone who's important, like someone who's intelligent. You guys are well groomed. You guys dress in ways that are very, I think either like there's two groups, like very non-traditional in one way, where you might have those like piercings or tattoos or something like that, or interesting hair dye. And then the other group may be very almost like overly traditional, or something where it's like you're wearing like button downs, or you're wearing you know, a tweed jacket, or you're looking in that kind of like a poet from a movie, or, you know, a character from like French New Wave films in the 60s, like a Godard film or something. You just may seem like someone who is super intellectual and into, you know, like art house films, into a very unique way of dressing. Like I feel like you guys you march to the beat of your own drum, and you think about things super deeply. And so yeah, people who are very unconscious may be kind of triggered by you and may find this to be kind of unpleasant, but I think it's a beautiful quality, and you guys have so much to offer, and I think so many people are so impressed by this. So let's get more cards. Final cards for pile 2. Why do people stare at them? Why do people stare at pile 2? Oh, that one flew out. Why do people stare at pile 2? Why do people stare at pile 2? We are going to get a card. Wisdom. Wow. Okay, that is so accurate. Okay, so we got wisdom. The release was the one that flew out. Solitude and success. Wow. Okay. And protection flew out, and happiness. So I feel like, yeah, you guys are definitely releasing and breaking a lot of these ancestral bonds that may have been toxic, or may have been with toxic people, or people who are just kind of regressive and stuff. You guys are willing to march to the beat of your own drum. You don't mind it. You don't mind being on your own, or having people be like, oh, this person, they're always saying this, blah, blah, blah. I hate it when they bring that up at the dinner table or something. You don't mind being on their bad side. You don't mind standing alone. You guys have this inner core of strength that lets you withstand it. So even if they come for you, you're like, bring it on. I don't care. And you guys, I feel like that is the same energy that is going to bring you to the success and happiness, and it gives you guys protection and stuff, because it's like you guys have this inner core of steel, and even when someone is trying to come for you or attack you, they can't succeed. You're too strong. You have too much natural strength, and you guys are, yeah, just, I feel like your intelligence and your way of seeing through the BS is going to really help you to break these bonds and create this beautiful new life. So I really hope that helped you guys. Please leave it a like if it resonated, and also make sure to check out my Patreon. I just posted a video which is how would they feel if they saw you with someone else, and my prior one is an 18+ what are their fantasies. So if you want to join us over there, we have a lot more videos as well, so being planned for and everything. So come on, join the party if you guys want to, and also make sure to subscribe, leave a comment if it resonated, guys. And yeah, I really hope this helped. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you guys picked this mixed fruit tart, this is going to be your reading. You can see the black currants here, and the blueberry, kiwi, almond, the strawberry, and the mango, and there's a ton of detail on all the fruits. I also love the big dollop of cream in the middle. You can see there's a lot of detail on that, and of the sides of the pastry, it looks just like actual puff pastry with all the buttery layers. I love these. They seriously make me so hungry to look at. But guys, let's get into your reading. You guys got the Magician, the Fool, the 8 of Wands, Death, Ace of Cups, 6 of Swords, and the Chariot. So people are getting a vibe from you that things are really changing. I feel like people stare at you because they can tell that you guys are exuding this energy of like new, fresh opportunity. Like you guys just seem like you guys are on the path to making your dreams happen, and like you have something fresh and brand new in your life. I'm actually hearing she's acting brand new, or like it's almost like I'm seeing that image from the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back, when she's walking away from that burning car and she tosses the lighter behind her, and I think it's her ex-husband's car or something, and she just lights it on up and burns it, and she's ready for this new life, and she gets it in the movie. And it's like, I feel like you guys are at that point where you guys are exuding this energy, where you are leaving something in the past, and people may stare at you in your community or in your family, or people who don't know you might just get this vibe from you of like, this person's on something new and they're not tolerating the same old ish. I don't know. Like, I feel like some of this is people in your family or in your extended friend group staring at you because you guys have put an end to tolerating some stuff, and you guys are on this new fresh journey, and you guys just seem almost like, I'm hearing like who gave you this attitude, or like, well, who told you you're so great or something. Like, I feel like you guys are exuding this confidence, and I feel like it's really attractive. I feel like you guys have reached a point where you don't care if people are judging you. You don't care if people have negative things to say about you. You guys are feeling so strong about yourselves, feeling so good about your journey, and you've made peace with the fact that not everyone is going to understand it. And you guys are, I'm just seeing someone walking in with like full confidence, and like maybe the grocery store checkout person or the gas station checkout person is rude to them and, you know, gives them an attitude, and they couldn't care less. They don't even let it bother them. They're like, Okay, anyway, next. Like, they are so in their power. And I feel like that's something, a lot of you guys are exuding a vibe that you guys have been through some stuff. Maybe you guys were disrespected or treated badly, and like, you guys are starting to recognize your own power and treat yourself with power. So I feel you guys, people stare at you because you exude confidence, and it's almost like people are like, how did they get that? Where did they get that? Why do they feel themselves so much? Why do they walk around with that attitude? But it's like, they may react to that like if it's a negative thing at first because of their own judgments, maybe their own thoughts and feelings where they felt like they had to tolerate bad behavior at one point or time. Like, maybe, you know, in their life they had a toxic family member and they just stuck around with it, you know what I mean? Or a toxic husband or boyfriend who would treat them badly and talk to them badly, but they just thought, well, that's just how it is and I just have to stick around and I don't have a choice. And I feel like it's almost like you guys are this role model of someone who is just walking away. And I'm hearing that song Walking Away by Craig David, and he says, I'm walking away from the problems in my life. And it's like, I feel like you guys are just on this new kick of manifesting. You guys just, I feel like you guys just give off this vibe of power. You guys just give off this vibe that you are feeling yourself. Some of you guys may have invested money in your hair, in your nails, in your physical appearance, or yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys may, like, you look put together. You look like someone who is feeling themselves. Like, as Beyonce says in Feeling Myself, like, you know, I'm just hearing that verse from the song, and it's like, I feel like you guys, you know you look good. You're putting a little effort into it, and people that think they can kind of roll up on you and approach you in a way that is rude or condescending. You know how like people have these things called a neg, where they will approach someone but they don't want to ask for a date in a polite way, so they'll insult the person and make some little comment that's like undermining or passive aggressively rude, like, well, your nose looks really good for being such a big nose, or something like that. And I feel like you guys just would never tolerate it. You guys would like laugh in their face and be like, oh, is that what you're trying to do? Next. It's like, you guys know what you guys have to offer and what you guys bring to the table. And you are not tolerating people that can't come correct, or have issues that they haven't worked out, have traumas that they never fixed. You're not the one to bring it to. You're not going to feel sorry for them and tolerate the bad behavior. And I feel like people know that about you. They know that they're going to have to bring their A game. It's kind of giving me queen energy or empress energy. Like, it's giving me energy of someone who is coming into their power. For some of you guys, you aren't fully in empress energy yet, but you're on that trajectory. You're unlearning. If there was anyone in your past that made you feel bad about yourselves, or made you question yourselves, or wonder about your own self-worth, that is being cut. Those ties and cords are being released, and you guys are starting to step into your fullest, most empowered self, and you are paddling away from the trash and the dysfunctional behavior, and you are emanating these powerful vibes. I feel like you guys may be manifesting. You might be working on manifesting. People may wonder how you make money so easily. They may wonder how you have the car you drive, or how you got a new job so quick. Some of you guys, you may have been attached to this toxic person and people knew it. Like, you may have had a toxic father that gave you money and you couldn't, everyone knew your dad was kind of a toxic jerk, but they also knew he was giving you money and he's a powerful guy, and they don't understand, and they're shocked now that you cut him off and you said, I don't want any money. That's it. I'm done. Or, you might have had a husband or a boyfriend in the same, who is like difficult, treated you badly or something, and you may have been in a cycle of like being around someone that would disrespect you, and everyone just thought like, well, that's how it is, that's just the status quo, and you guys said no more. And so people are noticing this. People, if they're staring at you, I feel like it's because they kind of like heard about this, they kind of heard the gossip, and they're wondering like, how do they look so good? How did they make this happen? Wait, how did they get a job so quick? How did they get that car so quick? How did they break this cycle. Like, how did they move out of that neighborhood? You know what I mean? They can see, even if you're not there yet, that you're on that path. You guys have a fresh start with the Fool. So it's like, you're putting an ending to the trash and the dysfunction, and you're stepping into your own power, and it's coming across really strong. So we also got the Dreamer, which relates to the Fool. And I promise I didn't mess around with the placement. They just came out one on top of each other like that. 5 of Wands, King of Cups, 10 of Air, Page of Cups, and Queen of Pentacles. Love the Queen of Pentacles for you guys. So yeah, you guys, if you're not already there, you guys, I feel, will be on the path to be able to afford luxury goods if you guys want to wear them. And I feel like a lot of you guys, people may stare at you because you do give off a luxurious or successful vibe. I feel like you guys put effort into your appearance. I feel like a lot of you guys may have a good makeup routine, or you do your hair well. You might have good hair, or like good wigs or whatever. I don't know what the situation is for each individual person, but I feel like your hair is looking good, your face is looking good, maybe your nails are looking good, and you guys make sure that people can see that, you know, everything you do is put together well. You guys are not stumbling out the door, you know, maybe once in a while, but for the most part, you guys are leaving the house looking cute, fly, sexy, and people can tell, people are noticing. Like, if you guys go into, you know, the gas station to grab a bag of chips before you go back to your car, people are probably turning their heads like, wow, who's that? Wait a minute, why are they in the gas station? Don't they have an assistant to run in for them or something? Like, you guys may even look like a celebrity, or like someone who just has already achieved that wealth and abundance, even if you're not there yet. I feel like you guys, you know, it's like there's such a strong energy of the Fool or the Dreamer, of new, fresh beginnings and a fresh start, and being open to anything. I feel like, in a way, you know, one thing great about this is I feel like sometimes when someone is in Queen of Pentacles energy, it can be really intimidating. And I do feel like people may be intimidated some, but another good thing about exuding this Fool energy is people feel like you would be open. You're open to new opportunities, and you may get approached more because people can sense that, like, you're not totally closed off. You're not like, well, I already have my husband and I already am set in my ways, or I already have my routine and I'm single and I'm not open. You seem open and fresh and ready for something to come in. You seem like you are that type that, you know, you might have random people stopping you to start a conversation, and you might be like, why is it I can't even walk down the aisle at the grocery store without some random person coming up to me? Or why am I like randomly getting into conversation with anyone who checks me out at any store? Or why do I have like customers flirting with me? And it's because you exude this open energy of being open to new possibilities. Like, you guys are not closed off. You guys, I feel like some of you guys could be open even to new cultures or to new foods. You're adventurous. You're down for whatever. You guys are not like an older energy that's like stuck in their ways, stuck in their routine. Like, I gotta eat dinner at 6:30 p.m. every night, and it's gotta be this kind of food, and I don't try new cuisine. Like, you guys are so open. And I feel like some of you guys are very trendy, like, not in a bad way, but like, it's like you guys are on top of the trends. Like, you guys may be early adapters to trends. Like, you guys may be constantly updating your style, like Rihanna, like, or, you know, other fashionable people where, you know, as soon as something is hitting the runways in Paris, you've already got your own version of it, or you guys are already, you know, updating your nails with whatever the latest nail trend is. I feel like a lot of you guys, you're just open. You haven't become like a rigid type of person that things have to be done a certain way. There's a lot of openness in your energy field, and people can tell that you guys are also kind of creative and just, you know, open-hearted and open to something new coming in. I keep saying open, but that's just the word that comes to mind. I feel like some of you guys did have to deal with conflict, and it's just like you're just over that. You're over that period in your life. Like you can handle yourself in conflict, but you're done with it. You're ready to move on to something new. You're ready to move on to a better period of like easiness. You don't want to deal with trashy, dysfunctional people that want to fight. You're looking for happiness, bliss, you know, eating out and having a good time, having fun, the finer things in life. Like you're just ready for those blessings to come in. You're ready for those endings to finish and the new stuff to come in. People can really tell that you're manifesting this new life for yourself. And also, I feel that you guys are going to be coming into some wealth or luxury. So you might not be there yet, but it's kind of like you can see the trajectory. You know how like, I feel like in a yearbook, people will vote for like most likely to succeed or most likely to be famous or most likely to do XYZ. You guys would get like most likely to make a ton of money and most likely to have a lot of stuff in the bank. Like you guys just seem like you guys are in for money, success, and a lot of wealth. So people can tell that you guys are bringing in this new life and welcoming in this new opportunity and very open to the world. So I think when people stare at you, it's kind of like, huh, who is this person? And like, what is all this potential I'm picking up on, you know? Also, you guys give a vibe that you guys, yeah, you're done with fighting. You've been around fighting and dysfunctional behavior in your past, and you're truly leaving it behind. I feel like some of you guys, it's almost like you give off this clean vibe, like someone who was really dirty and took a shower. Not like actually, or not in a bad way, but like someone who, you know, we all spiritually can carry around like attachments from other people and stuff, and most of us just carry that around for life. And it's like you guys seem like you actually did the work to get rid of that and to totally clean yourself and to totally get on this new kick. So I feel like people just are like, wow, how does this person have such like a clear energy field? So other cards we got: Sky Dancers, Surrender, Overflow, Overwhelm, and Plenty, the Wall, Obstacles, Watchers, Transpersonal, and Moon Maiden, New Beginnings. So again with the new beginnings. And I feel like you guys may come off as someone who had to face a lot of walls and obstacles. You might have people saying no to you, or people who just treated you really badly and didn't respect you. But it's like you guys you seem like someone who's resilient, and you seem like someone who has been through it, but came out on the other side smiling and still optimistic and still open and ready. You didn't let the difficulty and the hardship make you jaded. And so I feel like people who meet you have a lot of respect for you. They're kind of like, let me not mess with this person. Let me not like randomly get into an argument with this person or try to start something with them, because they just seem like they know what they're doing. They seem like they wouldn't be the one to try to come for, because you guys would be able to push back, because it's not your first time at the rodeo. You guys are not like this little wilting flower who's never experienced hardship. You guys have been through it. I also feel like you guys have a lot of confidence and sexiness in the way you move. I feel like just the way you move your hips and the way you kind of wiggle while you're walking is what I'm getting. Some of you guys may enjoy wearing high heels or have really beautiful feet or legs, I feel. Because I feel like there's something very attractive about the way you guys walk, or a beautiful bottom or behind, and maybe even hips to waist. But like, I feel like that lower half, there's something about that shape that people find very attractive, especially for the feminines, because it's a very feminine shape. But if you are a guy watching, it could be that you have very like muscular, nice legs, a nice tight butt or something. I don't know, but I feel like this section, it's like I'm hearing like, I hate to watch you leave, but I love watching you go, or something like that. Or I hate to say goodbye, but I love watching you leave, or something. Like, where I feel like you guys look good walking away. And I feel like people will do that thing where they, you know, would pretend like they're not looking at you, and then as soon as you turn to walk away, like they're staring at your butt or whatever. Like they're definitely checking you out when you have your back turned, that's for sure. Yeah, and I feel like you guys have like a sexy wiggle or a sexy way of walking where you might wiggle your hips in a certain way, or just it's like a sexy, almost feline, like cat-like way of walking where there's like a sexiness to how you guys move. I keep getting that. So I feel like people may also assume, like with overflow and abundance, that you guys are just, you have a lot of offers romantically, that you have a lot of people who are romantically into you who might pay for you or be willing to pay for you, like that you have a lot of wealthy people that wouldn't mind like paying your rent to get you to hang out with them or something. People may not get the vibe that you actually have taken them up on that, but that you do have that as an offer or as something, if you wanted it, that you could make it happen very easily. I feel like you guys come off as someone people pay attention or stare at you also because you seem like you do attract a lot of attention with watchers, and I feel like people think that other people pay attention to you as well. Like they might be like, oh, is that person an Instagram model, or does that person have like social media, or have I seen that person like on TikTok or something? Like they might just assume that you guys, I feel because you guys present very well and as attractive and kind of like have this, I don't know, aura to you of like someone important, that they might assume that you have a public page of some kind showcasing you, and that you guys are known in that realm in some way. So people are just assuming that you guys have a lot of that kind of attention, that you're used to attention, that it comes easily to you. So we got wait for winter, precious time, wisdom, and lost and found. So it's almost like people can tell you're coming back into your energy of the being super empowered and feeling really empowered. People can tell that you guys are feeling yourselves lately. Like people are staring at you because they're like, what the heck happened to her? Some of you guys may have gone through a rough period where you weren't feeling good, and you may be coming back into your power and suddenly having like a glow up. Like maybe you had acne or something and suddenly you found the right regime and it cleared up. Or maybe you were just not really feeling yourself and you weren't dressing up and you were, just running around doing errands in sweatpants, and now you're dressing up every time. But I don't know, you just seem to have this energy of like rejuvenation, almost like a second wind or a second chance. Like you guys just, I feel like I keep hearing Stella got her groove back. Like you guys got your groove back. You guys are, maybe some of you guys got divorced or something. I don't know what this energy is, but it's like, sometimes when people observe someone going through a really hard time, you never really know. When it's like a really hard time, you never really know if they're fully going to make it out, or if they're going to come out of it really traumatized and like being like a shadow of their former selves and just not empowered like they were. So it could really go either way. It can be a really bad thing for someone to go through that. And so I think that the way you guys have come out of whatever this is, and you guys are like shining, smiling, better than before, people are like, what the heck's going on? Like, what is she? I'm hearing like all have what she's having from When Harry Met Sally. Like it's like people are like, I want that kind of energy to myself. Like what is she doing? How did she go up against that and she's still not only like doing well, but like doing better than before? How did she come out of that, but actually she's better off now because of it? Like I thought she was going to be out. Like again, I feel like some of you guys had toxic people around you that did try to take you down, whether that's a toxic dad or a toxic parent or a toxic like relationship or something. But some of you guys did have people that deliberately tried to kind of knock you out of the race, like sabotage you or whatever. And I feel like people were more aware of that than you realized. You may have thought that this person had a better reputation than they did. I found when dealing with narcissists is like, they present to you like they have everyone on their side, but sometimes once you stop covering for the narcissist and you are open, or you're just like, I'm not really like effing with them anymore, and you just kind of put it out there publicly of like, I'm kind of over them, it's amazing how many people will come out of the woodwork, or people who were like instantly they did know what was going on, and they'll be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I know he's a tricky person or something. And you just know that they might not know the full extent, but they do understand. And so I feel like people did know that you might have had someone gunning for you, and they may have thought that it was going to take you out. Like, no one could survive this, but you guys are still standing, and not only that, but you're doing better than you were. So yeah, I feel like if people are staring at you in public, it might be because they were more aware of that situation than you realized, or you're just carrying this energy with you of like someone who has been rejuvenated, someone who like just got back from a spa day and is like so relaxed and feeling great. Whether you guys have been working nonstop lately, but you just have this second wind, you have this energy to you that I think people really pick up on. So other cards we got are self-respect and rainbow reviver. So yeah, it's like you guys have been revived. It's like you guys have this second wave of energy, and you're on this journey to self-respect and to really being empowered. You know, you guys are not tolerating some of the stuff that you used to tolerate. And I also feel like you guys just exude potential, you know. I think that's what, like, I think it's interesting. I brought this up in other readings before, but like when there's a celebrity, so much of the time people will, you know, go back and do interviews with like their high school or their college or just random people, and they'll always usually say something like, oh, we always knew they were going to be a star, or we could just tell he was going to be really good in business, or he just always seemed so smart, we knew he was going to make a lot of money, you know. And it's like, I feel like you guys just exude a vibe of someone who is going to have success in the future, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, well, we always knew. And it's like, I think, you know, that's why the French have the term je ne sais quoi, because it's like, yeah, it's hard to put a label on it. It's hard to think of exactly how to, because je ne sais quoi means I don't know what, but it's like basically like she has that I don't know what, like as in like it's this very special quality, like it's not something we kind of can put a human word for. It's this very special energy that hangs around someone that makes them stand out from the crowd. So you guys just have that of like future success, future potential, future, they're going to do something special, they're going to start a business, they're going to get an Instagram that's a huge page, or they're going to do something. Like you guys have accumulated some wisdom and some resilience from what you guys have gone through, and so you might monetize that into a business, or it might, you know, have given you, as difficult as it was, like a certain type of wisdom to know how to, you know, manage money. Maybe the person that was like really nasty to you was also really wealthy, and even though they controlled the money, they told you a little bit about like, oh, well, I run my business doing this, and then you'll use that knowledge to launch your own, and you'll be destined for your own success. But there's something about you guys carrying and exuding like, I've been through it, I'm still standing, and I'm hearing that, and it's almost like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like it's almost like you guys are like a Marine that just got back from the war, and as much as it may have been horrible, you're stronger than you ever were before. Like, you know, of course, I'm not encouraging war or anything like that, but I think like, you know, a soldier that comes back from war, as horrible as it can be, they're also going to be in physical tip-top shape. You know, they're going to be like, they're going to have been, you know, running around and lifting stuff and being as physically, and it's like they're going to have more strength than they probably ever will again in their lives. And that's like you guys, as much as it stinks to have to go through the hardships, they do make you stronger, and you guys just exude this strength. And people aren't always like as psychically aware or as spiritually aware, that they might not know that that's what they're picking up on. They just know, they're kind of like, whoa, who's that, and what's the energy, and where does she work, how does she make her money? Because I feel like you guys do also exude someone that money kind of comes to you effortlessly. So let's see the other cards we got. Gateway, community, freedom, new beginnings, and inner peace. So you guys are getting your freedom, which is so exciting. There was something that really was holding you guys back from having freedom before, and now you're in for these new beginnings, this beautiful new life. And I feel like, yeah, you have a lot of people watching you in your community, or who are aware of you in your community. People, it could be family, it could just be friends, extended, or you might even just be known in your town or known in the city you live in. But it's like you have people who really know you and kind of know some of your history. So that also might be why, if like a stranger is staring at you, they might have seen you in some extended, you know, random person's Instagram, or I don't know, just like out on the town, or they've heard your name, or they've heard stories about you, or something like that. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys are just known to certain people around you, but you guys just seem like you have this inner peace now. Like, you may have seemed like you had a glow up. Like, people may be asking, like, how is that person so at peace? How do they have this chillness to them? How have they been through what they've been through, and they're still smiling and proud and walking around with their head held high and, you know, don't seem phased? Like, I feel like people are just kind of in awe of that, and you guys seem like you're coming in to this new freedom, new beginning, and this gateway moment of limitless potential. You guys just seem, like I said, like most likely to succeed, or most likely to make money or start a business, like one of those superlatives. And so we also got protection, good luck, grieving, beauty, and willpower. So you guys may just also be very physically attractive and physically beautiful. I'm seeing someone who, again, is very put together and walks with a lot of innate dignity. Like, when you walk in, you just seem like someone who, you know, just carries themselves with a lot of respect, holds their head high. I'm seeing someone who's walking like in a way that, you know, they would train you in like the beauty schools in like the 1950s to, like, you know, how like they would put like a beauty, or not a beauty, but a book on the girls' heads and make them walk, you know, with heels on, and like not have the book fall, and make them walk very regally with, like, you know, kind of a modeling walk, but they couldn't drop the book. And it was like, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting with how you guys walk. I feel like you guys like put your shoulders back, carry yourselves with respect, and, you know, you dress nicely. You guys have good manners, and I feel like people stare at you because it's almost like, who is that? Where did they come from? And there is like that kind of feeling that people may have of like, is this person, if they don't know you and they don't know your situation, they may wonder if you guys are a public figure of some kind, or did this person grow up in a really fancy environment? Like, I feel like you guys just carry yourself with such worth that people may just wonder, like, is this person a VIP? Or like, where did they come from? Why do they act like that? Like, why are they so regal? And, you know, we're just like in a gas station, but they seem like they might be a queen, or they might be related to like some royal family somewhere. So it's like, yeah, you guys just exude this beautiful, regal royalty quality. And I feel like you guys, you know, you may have been through a lot of pain in the past, and you may have been strengthened by that and exude kind of like you've been forged by the fire, you know, just like steel is forged by a fire, or a diamond is forged by all the pressure and the weight on it in the ground when it's below the earth. But it's like, that's what makes it small, strong, and beautiful. And so I feel like people may be able to tell that you guys have been through some ish, but it only makes you more beautiful, and it only makes people more intrigued by you and want to get to know you more. I also feel like you guys carry this vibe of being protected by angels, or again, people being like, how did they get through that? Like, I'm seeing like an image that I saw the other day of like a car crash. I'm gonna knock wood because I hate talking about car crashes, but and it was like the car was completely smashed, and like the truck, it was literally like a, you know, one of those giant trucks. I don't know what they're called, like a I don't know, one of the big trucks, like a huge truck, and it completely ran over the car what is it, a 4, I don't know what it's called. Anyway, like a big truck, not a passenger truck, but like one of those big professional trucks that transports stuff, you know, that kind of a thing. And it completely ran over the car, and like a 60-foot truck kind of thing. Anyway, and it completely ran over the car, and the car was smashed like an accordion, like it was completely smashed, and the person survived. And there's literally, if you look at it, it's like it makes no sense, because that car, it's like a little tangled up ball of metal, and the person had like minimal scratches, and the police officer said, I'd never seen anything like it. I literally don't even know how. Oh, a tractor trailer is what it's called. A tractor trailer, yeah. So a big truck. And he said, I don't know how she survived. I've never seen that in my, like, all my years of policing. I've never seen anything like this. And I've been a police officer for a long time. So it's almost like that's the vibe. Like, you guys have been protected, and people are like, wow, how did they get through this? And you guys now exude like, I'm doing it for myself. I have all this willpower, and nothing is going to stop me now. You can't stop me. You may have tried, but it only made me stronger, and I will succeed. So people can get this vibe of success, of future potential, of it's inevitable that you guys are going to achieve your destiny, do something special, and like, I'm hearing like the world on fire. So like in a, obviously a positive way, in a beautiful way, and spread your gift. And you guys have this vibe about you of like unlimited potential, that you've been through it and you're still here. And so if you could get through that, you can accomplish anything, you can do anything. So yeah, I think people, if they're staring at you, it's like they're getting all these intuitive vibes about you, and they're just in awe of you. Like they're like, whoa, okay, this person is someone I'm gonna, you know, take seriously. Like if you go to a restaurant, I feel like the waiter will probably be extra polite and won't mind coming over and like refilling your glass as soon as you've taken 2 sips, because they can tell like, oh, this person's, I don't know, like you give, it's almost like VIP vibes, even if you're not a VIP yet. You know, successful, powerful vibes. Like, you know how like when Anna Wintour in The Devil Wears Prada, like I read the books, and like, I don't know if they covered it in the movies, but like, you know, when she would order her lunch from the restaurant, she would say like, and it's for Anna or something, and they would be like, oh my god, okay, and they'd make it like extra fast, you know, and they'd make it extra good. And it's like that kind of a thing. Like when someone knows a real VIP is on the phone, you know, they're going to like do it to their best extent. So I feel like, yeah, you guys might get some special treatment sometimes, which is really nice. Also because I think people are attracted to you because you guys are beautiful. So yeah, so that's kind of a nice perk to have. But yeah, I see so much success in your future, you guys, and good luck, abundance, and just beautiful things coming in for you. So this is a really beautiful reading, and I think it relates not just to like your looks or why people are looking at you, but it's like truly like there's so many things to take away from this about, you know, your long-term trajectory and all the amazing stuff that's going to happen to you guys. So I'm so excited for you guys, pile 3. So check out my Patreon if you guys want to join me over there. I just posted a video of what would they say to, or what would they think if they saw you with someone else. And I also have my 18 plus what are their fantasies video. So if you guys want to check those out, head over to my Patreon link in my bio, and make sure to leave this video a like and a comment if it resonated. Let me know in the comments, and subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will be back soon for another reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey pile 4, so if you guys picked this raspberry tart, this is going to be your reading. It looks so good. I don't know if you guys can see because the light, it gets so dark so early, so I'm just filming with my artificial light, but this raspberry has so many details. So does the walnut. The almond is like painted, and the mint leaves, everything is just on point. And then they have the really buttery layers like in French pastry. So they did a great job with this. Yeah, I love these. I'm like obsessed. But let's get into your reading, guys. So we have the 7 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, the Three of Cups, Two of Pentacles, King of Swords, the Hermit, and the Ace of Wands. So I feel like right away I'm getting a ton of watery energy for you guys. I feel like you guys have a very youthful vibe with the Six of Cups. You may even look younger than your age, and that may be why people stare at you. Is I feel like you guys have this fun, youthful, almost life of the party type of vibe. Like, I feel like it's like I'm hearing that TikTok, the song, or like Kesha's song TikTok, and I think she says, when the party don't stop till I walk in. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. I feel like you guys bring a ton of energy to everything. And another thing about you is that a lot of people are very sexually attracted to you with the Ace of Wands. You guys attract a lot of almost like competition, I want to say. I feel like people almost have this idea that if they could date you, that it would be proof of like their social status or something. It's something where you guys are picky and choosy about who you hang out with, even though you may have friends and like to go to parties, or you may be really fun at a party. You're choosy about the ones you go to. You're not just gonna sign up to go anywhere. And so it's kind of like there's this idea that you guys being willing to date someone would be a status symbol, or would be a proof of how much attractive they are. So I feel like you guys must be very physically attractive. I feel like a lot of you guys have a youthful appearance. You might have full round cheeks, and like I'm seeing like almost like a small but full mouth, and like big eyes. So I feel like some of you guys literally look a lot younger than your age. You might have really good skin, like very smooth without a lot of wrinkles. And I feel like you might be mistaken, where people are constantly asking you like, oh, so, carding you and you're 35, or asking you, your age, and when you say it, they're shocked. I feel like you guys just have a very youthful visage. I think that's the name, that's the word for it. And people are always thinking that you guys are just straight up physically attractive. So that is one of the reasons why they do stare. But I also feel like a lot of you guys exude a very playful, fun energy. And that's a major reason why people are so drawn to you. It's almost like manic pixie dream girl vibes, but not fully, but it's just like, I feel like you guys are that type that would stop to smell the roses, or to dance in the middle of a rainstorm, or to like stop to pet anyone's little dog that is coming by. Like, you guys are all about actually enjoying life and stopping to smell the roses, and really being involved in every moment. And I feel like people are very enchanted by that about you. And it's almost like they want to know your secret. Like, they want to know how you go through life, not being super stressed out, and having a smile on your face, and having a positive attitude about things. They can't fully understand how you guys always have a positive outlook, and you guys always have a bright, sunny energy that you're bringing. And so I feel like that's why, like, you guys just seem cheerful. Some of you guys might have almost like a nightly wine thing, or like you like to have drinks, or you like to party, or you like to have fun. You guys are like that person that someone will, invite on a road trip and be like super excited to have a blast with, and they don't mind spending several hours stuck in a car with you per day, because they know you're going to be cheerful, fun, positive, and your energy field is just very lighthearted, to be honest. Like, it just feels very positive. And I think this draws people in like a magnet. You might even find yourself drawing in somewhat negative people, because they are super drawn to your light, and they're like, oh my God, I can feed off this person. But I feel like everyone is drawn to you, to be honest. But you might find it a little overwhelming sometimes, and even feel with the Seven of Wands like you kind of have to beat them off with a stick. Like, oh my God, no, I'm single, but I don't want to date you. Or like, some of your friends might have problems like, oh my God, I never have a date, or no one's ever into me. And you're like, can't relate. Like, I'm sorry, but I've always had people having crushes on me and stuff. Like, so yeah, I feel like you guys just naturally attract. A lot of you guys who are feminine energy, you have an extreme feminine energy. Like, this is extremely feminine, whimsical, like, you see the beauty in the world. You guys have not lost your kind of childish enthusiasm and your beautiful way of looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. So I feel like masculine men or anyone who's attracted to feminine energy will be very attracted to you. And if you're a guy watching this or a masculine energy, it could be the opposite, or it could just be that you guys give off a vibe of someone who's not like super masculine, and people like that, you know, they like that you're like not too in your masculine energy, and you guys are wanting to, you know, enjoy life and all of that. So let's get more cards. We got the Dreamer, aka the Fool, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups again, King of Swords again, 8 of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. So I feel like, again, you guys, let me move these over, have so much water coming through. You guys very well might be Pisces, Cancers, or Scorpios. I'm definitely feeling a Cancer vibe for a lot of you. I feel like you guys have a very nurturing energy about you, and people are very drawn to you for that reason. It's almost like people get a vibe from you that you guys would make a great parent, you guys would make a great spouse, but you guys are super good with children, and I feel like animals as well. You're very loving, you're very sweet and understanding. Probably you have had like things where, you know, dogs run up to you, or like a stray cat runs up to you, or even little like children might come up and like randomly want to start conversations with you and stuff. And it's because they're drawn to this very sweet, nurturing, loving energy you guys exude. You guys are super watery, and so that's a very psychic energy. It's also very emotionally based and very loving and understanding. Water signs tend to, you know, because they're psychic, they tend to kind of see the best in people, because they can see like, oh, that crusty old mean lady who always comes in and harasses the shopkeepers, she's lonely because her husband died. Like, they just know this stuff because of their psychic abilities. So they tend to be very understanding and very much more empathetic than other signs might be. And I feel like you guys give that vibe. You might find that people who, you know, need help do feel drawn to you, and you might even have a problem sometimes with attracting people who like have a lot of problems and then kind of dump it on you. But I feel like you guys literally are like a shining beacon. And the thing is, when you do psychic work, is something you have to be careful of, is if someone is highly psychic, empathic, or has psychic gifted abilities, they will literally have like portals open over their head, and you know, other psychic or other entities can see that on the other side. So it's something you have to be careful of. And I think whether someone's another entity in another dimension or a human on earth, people can often sense that someone is a caretaker or has a loving energy. So you might find that you're just baffled that randomly someone will come up to you and start asking you questions, or telling you, you know, like, I just got fired from my job and I don't know what to do. And you're like, I don't know you, like, and they're just telling you all this stuff about them. And it's because you almost give off this psychic beacon of like, I can help you, I am gifted, I am wise, and people just feel really drawn to you. You give off a vibe of being very loving, sweet, and understanding. I feel like for a lot of you guys who are feminine energy, you guys exude dream wife energy. Like, when I feel like when guys write movies where they have a love interest, they always write love interests like this. Like, you guys almost give off like kindergarten teacher vibes. I heard some guy say the other day, like, oh, kindergarten teachers are the most hot girls ever. And that just popped into my head. Like, I feel like, I was like, okay, I don't know if every guy feels that way, but this is what that guy said. But I feel like you guys definitely exude that kind of energy of being just very loving, very protective, very sweet and nurturing, you know. And it is a very ancient motherly energy that's giving me Cancer vibes, giving me moon vibes, which would definitely be represented by the cups. Another thing that is super distinctive about you is that you guys are very open. You guys are not closed-minded or someone that is kind of stuck in their ways and isn't really interested in engaging with the world too much. You guys are super open. Your energy field is like literally open, and you guys are very loving towards people. You're very non-judgmental. I feel like someone could come to you and tell you almost literally anything, and you would be like, oh my gosh, and you would have some sympathy, or you would try to relate relate to them. You really exude a lot of empathy and kindness and just a sweet kind of feminine energy. For those of you who are masculine energies, it might just be that, again, you don't have that kind of toxic masculinity thing going on, and you seem loving and kind. And of course, masculine energy can be loving and kind as well, just in a different way. But it may be that you exude kind of father dad energy, which is a little stricter or more harsh, not as, you know, easily forgiving as a mom energy, but it can still be super loving and supportive. So it could be just the masculine version of this. But I definitely feel like people get the vibe that you guys are a lot of fun. Like, people probably think you're funny, probably get a kick out of you. I feel like you guys don't try to be funny. Like, you're not the kind of funny that like necessarily is going to be telling, like, cracking a joke a minute and trying super hard. Like, you're not, you know, one of those dark comedians that tells like really offensive jokes and like scripts them out, but you guys have a quick wit and you guys are, you know, quick on the ball and you have a funny perspective on life. You get a kind of like a tickle out of things, like just little things amuse you, and you generally tend to go through life trying to see like the humor in a difficult situation or trying to laugh rather than cry, you know. And so I feel like, yeah, I feel Spirit is saying that you guys generally give off kind of a funny vibe and people are amused and like enjoy having your energy around. Another thing is that people consider you pretty smart. We have the King of Swords coming up twice. So don't think that people are thinking that you're just kind of like an airhead energy or not that smart just because you guys are loving and understanding. They definitely see you as kind of a force to be reckoned with. 8 of Pentacles is also really smart and hardworking. So I feel like even though you guys have all these kind of sweet, loving, that aren't necessarily associated with like brain power energy, but you guys also have the brain power, and people, I think, generally respect and like you. Like, people, I feel you guys may have been just like popular almost. Like, people, I feel like a lot of people, you might not even know how many people like you and enjoy your presence, and that like if someone says like, oh, well, actually, like, Caitlin can't come to the party, she canceled last minute, like, people would be really disappointed because they genuinely enjoy being around you. And with High Priestess, I feel like that's an acknowledgement of the psychic ability you guys do have. You guys are super psychic, super intuitive. And I feel like people get that vibe from you. But it's funny because I don't feel you guys have a witchy vibe. I don't feel like you guys dabble in anything super dark, to be honest. I feel like your energy field is very pure and a lot of your psychic gifts came naturally. So it's kind of like people can develop psychic gifts by working on them, but they're really powerful when they come just innately. And I feel like you guys have a lot of innate gifts where you wouldn't even have to work on it. You wouldn't even have to meditate or try to channel. You're already picking up a lot of psychic stuff, you were just born that way. So other cards we got: Unmarked Trail, Revelation, Mindful, Groupthink, Covenant, Sacred Contract. In the hand, the universe is your partner, and Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom. So you guys probably do get a lot of downloads from your ancestors and from your team on the other side. I feel like this card is acknowledging that you guys are strong master manifestors and have a lot of power. And this is where I think it's interesting, because a lot of times someone with this type of energy, I might assume that people don't necessarily respect them a lot, or like people aren't intimidated by them. And I don't think people are necessarily intimidated by you, but they definitely do respect you. And I feel like if you guys have worried that, you know, maybe this person doesn't respect me or like me, or if I feel like what's coming to mind is if there was ever a situation where someone tried to like gossip behind your back or spread rumors about you, the funny thing is it would never work and it would actually backfire, because you guys are so liked and respected. And so many people just enjoy your presence, that you guys have a strong level of protection, and generally speaking, you have a good reputation. Like if you were a celebrity, you would be one of those ones that like everyone loves, that is like not controversial whatsoever. Like like Sandra Bullock is coming to mind. So I feel like you guys have a similar energy to her. I don't know what sign she is, but I feel like she just seems really lovable, sweet. She does have a feminine energy, but she also seems very competent, and like, you know, she seems like very smart. And I feel like that's your vibe. Like you just seem funny, like you get along with everyone, and just people like you. It's like, what is that phrase? I'm smart, I'm funny, and gosh darn it, people like me, or something like that. Like I feel like that's you guys. People just enjoy you. You would be like Miss Congeniality, which is, I guess, another Sandra. I wasn't I wasn't thinking of her when I said that, but like, you know, Miss Congeniality is her movie, but it's also the name of the beauty contestant inside the competition who would get voted as the most liked by the other girls. So it's like you guys have that ability to really charm people, and people just enjoy your positive energy that you bring. I feel like also you guys are, again, like I mentioned, very open to the world. You don't mind going on an unmarked trail or kind of pushing through into something brand new, and really trying something different and special. Like you guys have a lot of bravery. You guys are very open, and you're not easily daunted. So again, people shouldn't underestimate you just because you seem funny and charming and sweet. It's like Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality, how she's the beauty queen and she's all bubbly and sweet and laughing, but she also has her gun that she like pulls out and she saves the day and tackles people. Like, you know, that's the vibe. Like you guys, people shouldn't underestimate you. Another thing that's coming up is with Covenant, Sacred Contract, and the Two of Cups. You guys may have an attachment to a soulmate on the other side, and I feel like that's something that people may pick up on. I also feel like just generally you appear as someone who a lot of people would have crushes on or would want to date or even marry. So you just give off like kind of like dream girl vibes, you know. Like I feel that a lot of people may even assume that you guys are definitely taken or in a relationship. They may make comments like, oh well, like a girl like you wouldn't be single, or I know a girl like you would you know, have a boyfriend, or I know a guy like you would be with someone. Like you might find people making those comments because I feel that this soul connection you have, and this might not be everyone, but I feel like it's a few people within this group, like you have a very strong soul connection to someone else, and so people pick up on that. It's almost like your soul is tethered to someone else's soul with like a little red string, you know. And I'm hearing like Invisible String by Taylor Swift, and so it's like, even though you might not be actually united with that person, but some of you might be, but some of you might not, but regardless, you guys are connected on the astral plane, and people can kind of sense this energy of like, oh, this person has a person, they're kind of beloved, even if you're in separation or you're not actually that close to them right now. People get the vibe. And yeah, I feel like you're on a lot of people's minds with mindful groupthink. Like you guys definitely do have a lot of suitors and a lot of people who would want to date you. So other cards we got: stargazing, believe in magic, wisdom, and music. So you guys are very wise. I do think you guys may be old souls, and a lot of water signs have this kind of intuitive knowledge. So I feel like a lot of you guys, they are the fourth and last sign in the zodiac. So basically it starts from Aries, then it goes to Gemini, no, Taurus. It goes for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and then Cancer. So fire, earth, air, water. And so water is at the end and kind of like, you know, has a little bit more of that ancient wisdom, I feel, just because of their intuition and all that stuff. So a lot of you guys just exude this energy, and I feel like people, again, magic, you guys give off a mystical psychic vibe, but it's almost like, again, it's not in a like dark way. Like sometimes people can give off a like psychic vibe, but it's in a witchy kind of dark, you know, type of energy. I feel like you guys, if you guys were like a witch, you'd be like Glenda the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz. You wouldn't be the other witch of the West or whatever. you guys, yeah, you give off like very light type of energy. You wouldn't be like that witch in the forest, like cursing people. You're just very light and pure. And so I feel like people aren't, sometimes they can be intimidated by psychic abilities or by someone who has psychic knowledge. It can be, you know, a little bit off-putting to people, but in your case, I feel like people just, they get such good vibes from you guys, and you guys still have a lot of purity and almost innocence. You're just gifted with these psychic abilities that you didn't even seek out. So yeah, it gives you just this light, almost like fairy energy. You guys do kind of have a fairy type of energy. And I feel like a lot of you guys exude light, like with stargazing. It's like you're this kind of moon in a dark sky. You guys are that moon that lights up the whole night, or the star that lights up the whole night. Yeah, so also with music, again, you guys may be very creatively gifted. Definitely getting creative vibes, and that also corresponds to the water signs. So you guys may, you know what I am seeing is like Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter, and how she's kind of like, I think the British word for it is a little batty, like a little quirky, but she's super nice and actually one of like the nicest professors, and helps them in one of the books. I can't remember what. I haven't seen the movies, but I read the books, and like, I know she helps them with something. I can't remember what, but it's like the crucial point of the book. So that's kind of like you guys may seem a little like, sometimes people may be like, oh, this person's quirky, but it's in an endearing, adorable way. And adorable is a great word for you guys. I feel like a lot of people just kind of want to like squeeze your cheeks on your face. I mean, I don't know, maybe elsewhere, but like, you know, trying to keep it PG, but I feel like they want to just squeeze your little cheeks on your face, and like, you know, they just find you adorable, almost like a kid, but not in a weird way, but just like you guys have adorable energy. So we got yin and yang, divine feminine, and manifestation. So with yin and yang, again, I feel like we're talking about that soul connection that you might have to your divine counterpart. So, I do feel like energetically you are connected to them, and they definitely are like strung into your energy field. And it's almost like you guys give off a vibe of being beloved, or having a lot of tenderness and affection towards you from this person. It could also be from your immediate family growing up. You might have had like a really good family structure, and it's kind of like people can tell that you just seem that way, but it could be from this person. You just seem like you've been very deeply loved, like you really know love, and like you have been truly appreciated. And I feel like that makes, you know, I don't know, it does something to someone's soul, and it really makes a difference. It's kind of like when you see someone who like kind of just doesn't really care about their car, and then you see someone who's like obsessed with their car, and they start telling you, they're like, oh yeah, oh, this is the 1985 Pontiac blah blah blah, but they've shined it to a like absolute golden, like perfect shine, and they're like, yeah, so the leather, I deep condition it every weekend. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. Like you can just tell they love the heck out of that car. It doesn't even matter if it's an old car and like beat up, or not beat up, because I'm sure it wouldn't be, but like if it's an old car that normally you wouldn't even look twice at, you're going to see that car as like, wow, oh, you know what? It is a really nice car. And so it's like just treating someone or viewing them with that much love that this person has for you just kind of puts like this golden aura around them of someone who's been cherished. And I feel like that's your vibe. So if you haven't had a person like this in your life yet, I feel like you guys will in the future, because I do think you're very connected to them. With the divine feminine, again, you guys have a spiritual component to yourselves. You guys are super spiritually gifted, and people can tell. And it's from a very feminine perspective for all you feminines. For the masculines, it could be from a very masculine perspective, but the feminine is really coming through in this reading, and most of my viewers are women, so that would make sense. Yeah, you guys just give off a vibe of like, almost like back in the day, you could have been a medicine woman or a spiritual leader of some kind in your whatever kind of background you come from, whatever spiritual tradition, you might have been like a spiritual leader within that. And you guys are naturally talented at manifestation and psychic stuff and meditation and all of that jazz. So it would make sense that you would be roped into that job if you had lived at a different time zone or era. So other cards we got: Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace, Forest Temple, Enlightenment, Reflecting Pool, Stillness, Water Spirit, Manifesting Dreams, and Rainbow Waterfall Miracles. So again, with the water energy, this one straight up says Water Spirit. And there's like cards for water, earth, air, and fire. So this is like the water sign card. So you guys are just, again, you guys very well might be Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancers. You might have heavy 12th house placements, I'm getting, or 4th house or 8th house, but I'm definitely feeling 12th house vibes for sure. Yeah, sometimes people may think of you as like a little scattered. Like again, I keep getting Professor Trelawney. Like I feel like she's kind of does like whatever she wants to do, and she's kind of a little quirky. Like people may even sometimes, underestimate her or think like, oh, she's just this little, like, she was a diviner. I don't know how to say it. She did divination. So she was basically like a psychic. And yeah, so she would have like random, spells where she would see the future and kind of trance out. And people were thinking like, oh, she's just kind of a kook. And then she ended up being so powerful. So yeah, some people may underestimate you at first, but I feel like sooner or later they realize how intelligent you guys are. And I feel like most of the time the vibe they get is like, they can tell you guys are smart, even if you do seem quirky and a little bit like, Zoe Day. I don't know if I can say her name, Zoe Deschanel's character in 500 Days of Summer, or whatever other manic pixie dream girl you can think of, a little quirky, but very attractive and everything. Yeah, there's so many cards that just relate to like being a psychically gifted person. I feel like all these cards basically have to do with that. So yeah, just more of that energy of the psychic ability that you guys exude. So we also got empowerment, closure, life purpose, animals, healing, and closure. So again, you guys may find animals are really, really drawn to you and just kind of run up on you when you're out in public, that you might just be like minding your business and like a random cat, or you might go over to a friend's place and the friend is like, oh, and by the way, like my dogs don't like anyone, so just be careful. And then, as soon as you come through the door, the dog's running over to you and like licking you and like wants to be cuddled by you, and your friend's like, this never happens. But I feel like you guys are good with animals. They can sense your pure spirit. Animals are super psychic and they can feel heart energy and stuff, and so I feel that they feel that exuding from you. And some of you guys may be kind of cuddly, or people may get that vibe from you that you just seem like someone. I feel like generally it's just like you guys give off like girlfriend material vibes or boyfriend material. You just seem like you would be loving, sweet. Like if you were in an argument, you wouldn't go crazy and start saying things that that would be super hurtful or super mean. You guys are that kind of like really loving, nice person that I think especially a lot of men like really love to imagine being with. It's an extremely feminine type vibe, and I feel like you guys also have healing abilities. You may just have like the ability to heal with your hands, or even your presence just maybe healing in people's lives because of the joy and the beauty you guys bring. You guys bring this happy attitude and this positive energy. So I feel that just seeing around you, like I feel like for some people who just meet you even quickly, they probably think of you all the time, or not all the time, but like think of you like if you pop into a store at 9 a.m., they may still be thinking of you at 3 p.m. like, oh, that girl was so pretty and she was so nice and she was like so friendly and chatty and talkative and it just made my day, kind of a thing. Like, I'm thinking of when I visited my grandmother in a retirement home or a nursing home because she had like gotten sick for a little bit, but she's very independent, so she likes to be on her own. She's like 97, but she's so independent. But she when we were there, like they said, I was talking to some of the people there and they were like, oh, well, all the older people here, because I think a lot of the people were trying to talk to me and I was kind of like, this is a little weird, and I might have asked someone about it or something, and they were like, oh, they love it when young people come around. And I was thinking about like why that is, and they were like, they just love the energy of the young people, like they just love to feel the energy of young people. And I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. This was before I did psychic work, so I wasn't as aware of it, but like it made sense to me back then, but it makes a million times more sense now, because, you know, people do pick up on other people's energy, and I just feel like you guys have this invigorating, friendly, happy energy. And for someone who's like having a really rough day, the fact that you come in with a smile on your face, like I feel like maybe you guys do have hard times and, you know, days when you just want to keep to yourself sometimes, but I feel like for the most part you guys are smiley, happy, outgoing, friendly. And I feel like for someone who maybe is working at a job they hate and dealing with like disgruntled customers all the time, that to them, it's just like a breath of oxygen after they've been held underwater for 5 minutes. Like, it's just like, oh my God, some positive energy for a change. And it really does make their day. So you guys may be accumulating positive karma just because you guys are the type to randomly smile at like a homeless person or just anyone passing by in the street. And maybe it's not a big deal to you because you guys are just going about your day and, you know, happy or whatever. But to that person, it really has the power to heal them. And you guys should know that you guys have this powerful ability in your smile and in your energy. So, you know, use it, because this is also stuff that goes right into that karma bank that I always talk about. So, you know, you guys can like get like double points. I feel, because your smiles and your positive energy is so powerful. It's almost like, you know, how banks or credit cards will advertise like, go with us and we give you like 3 times travel points, or we'll give you like double points if you buy on Saturdays or something. And it's like, I don't know, there's different rules with certain ones, but like, it's like, instead of giving you $1 cash back, they'll give you 2, kind of a thing. And I feel like you guys naturally have that because your smiles and presence, like anyone's positive energy is a good thing, but yours is extra powerful and strong because you stay in it almost all the time. So when someone's having a really rough day and they just desperately need some positive energy, all you do is you're walking by, you know, smiling and being happy, and you might not realize, but that might be like so meaningful to them and truly turn their day around. So like I said, keep smiling because there is a healing, powerful ability in it. And that may also be part of your life purpose, is to just smile and make other people feel joy through your presence, because you guys have just, your energy in itself is very positive, very pure, very non-toxic. And that can be a rarity in today's world because a lot of people are dealing with a lot of heavy stuff and a lot of people have a heavy energy field. So you are truly a breath of fresh air. So know that, and, you know, use it. And if you see someone having a rough day, why not just smile at them? Of course, like, definitely look after your safety, especially all the women watching this reading, because, you know, no one wants to be attacked, certainly, and we have to, you know, be proactive about our safety and be very aware. But I think that, like, you guys are the type to probably like chat with the checkout person, and I feel like that's doing so much good. And so kudos to you guys, and like, keep it up, because I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, you guys just seem very smart, very empowered, like you see very crystal clearly and have these psychic gifts. So other cards we got: transformation, power, success, purity, and illumination. So you guys see things so clearly. I feel like you guys have like I was talking about, just this innate power in your body, this innate power in your energy field, and people almost see you as like successful. Even if you aren't successful yet, I feel like you give off a vibe of someone who's just smiley, their life is going well for them, kind of like Elle Woods vibes or something. You know how she just, I'm seeing the scene in Legally Blonde when she's walking into Harvard and like she pulls up her pink convertible and then she pours like her little chihuahua like a drink in his little portable pink bowl, and then she is like tottering on inside in her heels and her like pink leather suit, and she's like just has this huge grin on her face, and all the kind of jaded Harvard students are like staring at her like, what the heck is wrong with you? But she turns out to be the most successful in the class, so she just exudes this positive energy for most of the time. Like she's always got a smile on her face, she's always happy, and even though some people may judge her at first or think like, oh, well, so she's smiling all the time, she's not actually an intellectual, they soon figure out that like, no, she's just as smart as you guys, she's just very positive. So I think people can tell that you guys exude a successful vibe, but I think the reason people stare at you is just this positive energy you guys are exuding, and also your very cute, adorable appearance, manic pixie dream girl vibes. I feel like a lot of you guys do have the kind of chubby cheek thing, which I think is so cute on girls. I think it's such a like feminine characteristic, so it's a compliment in my opinion to say like chubby cheeks, because I think there's so many like famous beautiful women who have that kind of like facial structure, and I think it's very feminine, very attractive. So yeah, so I'm definitely think you guys fit that kind of textbook attractive look with big eyes, full lips, but kind of a smallish mouth, to be honest. Like maybe not super wide or something, but definitely full lips. And yeah, I just think you guys look very feminine. A lot of you, if you're a masculine watching or a man, I feel like you know, maybe you have that, but like the masculine version. Maybe you still have the big eyes and full lips, but this pile is definitely just very attractive, I can tell. So I feel like you guys have an attractive face, and you give like cute vibes. You just give like, like aegyo. You know, I think that that's a phrase in Japan for like cuteness, and you guys definitely have that. So I really hope it helped you guys. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon, my last video is what would they feel if they saw you with someone else? How would they feel? And the one before that is what are their sexual fantasies, 18+ readings. So if you guys want to check those out, then head on over to my Patreon. My link is in my bio. And also, if you liked this video and it resonated, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment. Let me know how you feel about it, and make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will be back very soon for another reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.